merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. UPI reports 3 people were killed after 2 single-engine planes collided in the skies near Buffalo, New York on Sunday morning, according to officials. A man from Hamburg, New York, and a couple from nearby Eden, New York, were the only 3 people on the 2 planes, a Cessna and a Piper Cherokee, that are both single-engine, single-propeller planes. Officials from the Erie County Sheriff's Office said at a media briefing that the small aircrafts collided shortly before 9:30 a.m., leaving a small debris field over 1/4 to 1/2 mile section. 6 planes took off together around 9 a.m. from Hamburg Airport, according to Larry Walsh, the airport's vice president. Walsh said they were planning to go to breakfast in St. Mary's, Pennsylvania, and plan to return later in the day. Karen Ricotta, a North Collinstown justice, told the newspaper, "When I looked outside, you could see something next door on a mowed farm field. I couldn't identify what it was." She added, "But when I went outside, another man driving by pulled in my yard and told me it was a plane in the field." Town Supervisor John M. Tobia said one of the crashed planes landed in a field and the other between a metal storage building and a wooded area. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports Tommy Smith and John Carlos, the 2 African-American athletes sent home from the 1968 Olympic Games for their raised fist protest on the medal podium, will receive a long-awaited moment of redemption at a U.S. team event at the White House this week. Carlos told Reuters on Sunday the 2 were invited by the U.S. Olympic Committee to attend a gala dinner on Wednesday in Washington, D.C., honoring the 2016 Olympic team and accompanying the team to meet President Barack Obama at the White House the following day. The image of Smith and Carlos, gold and bronze medalists in the 200-meter track event in Mexico City, thrusting their black-gloved fist into the air, has become an enduring symbol of the fight for racial equality. Their example has surfaced repeatedly in the past weeks as an inspiration to NFL and college football players protesting racial injustice after the fatal shooting of several men by police. Smith and Carlos paid a high price for their protest, not only in the Olympic Committee, but also in the court of public opinion. Standing in black socks, the 2 Americans bowed their heads and pushed their fists into the air as the U.S. anthem played, shocking the world and many Americans reeling from a turbulent year in the fight for civil rights. They were suspended from the U.S. Olympic team and sent back to the United States. Carlos said he did not expect or want an explicit apology from the Olympic Committee for sending him and Smith home because their actions were in clear violation of the policy. He said, however, that over time and as their raised fist salute has become a precedent of sorts, U.S. Olympic officials have a better understanding of the reason behind their protest. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
North, an extremely vocal opponent of gay marriage, drew fire during his 2010 re-election campaign for saying that the legalization of gay marriage would lead to man-horse marriages. In one instance, he told the New Haven Register, quote, "It's a slippery slope. If we allow 2 men to marry, what's next? Men marrying horses?" But yesterday, North found himself at the center of a media firestorm when the New York Times published photos of North on what appears to be romantic outings with a horse. Gathered during the Times' 2-month investigation, the pictures show North in almost a dozen locations with the same 3-year-old mare. A former aide discovered links to numerous horse-related sites, including phillyfreaks.com and hothindquarters.com on North's work computer. The Times is accusing North of using federal funds to pay for luxurious trips, including a 3-night stay at the high-end Sueños stables in Catalonia, Spain last month. North released a statement yesterday claiming he only spent time with the horse twice while conducting research for his anti-gay marriage project.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, and you may join us here. It is the first ever least popular debate that has ever happened. I mean, the least popular presidential candidates in U.S. history are going to be debating tonight. And, you know, normally I'm not interested in presidential debates unless third parties are involved. but I gotta say, this one's kind of interesting to me. With you in studio tonight here for Free Talk Live, it's Ian,
Melanie,
and Darryl.
You can join the show here and share your thoughts with us, not just on the debate, are you going to watch or not, and why not, or why. What are you looking forward to, if anything, in this? You can share your thoughts here toll-free at 855-450-FREE. And where will the third-party candidates be tonight? We've got the news about the locations of Gary Johnson as well as Jill Stein from the Green Party. Gary Johnson, the Libertarian Party candidate, the Green Party candidate, Jill Stein.
No word from Darryl Castle,
the Constitution Party candidate. Did you look just to make sure?
I have not looked, but most of the things have just been popping up in my news feeds.
Has he been included in any of the polls?
He has not.
Okay. So anyway, we're going to update you on all that coming up here tonight. And if we get the chance in the 9 o'clock hour, that's the third hour of the show, so Eastern time, we're on 7 to 10 o'clock at night Eastern. And the 9 o'clock hour is when they're going to be debating. So that's when it starts. It's going to be, I guess, live streamed on CNN.com. We might pick up some of the audio here, play some of it on the air, and then respond. So that's something that we've done occasionally throughout the years, like during a debate or during a State of the Union address or something. We'll just kind of play some of the audio from that and then use that to just talk about whatever the issues are that they happen to be discussing, which, of course, whatever it is that they're saying will likely be completely outrageous and something that libertarians and liberty-minded folks will be absolutely bristling at and upset about. So, I mean, it's going to be a hard debate to watch from that aspect, given that there's no one representing the ideas of freedom. But, of course, what's new? I mean, that's how the debates have been throughout their history. Back in the mid-1990s, of course, is when they started to make it very, very difficult for third parties to join in these debates. It was after the Ross Perot presidential candidacy in 1992.
And one thing that's interesting, and I'm glad you brought up Ross Perot. One thing interesting about 1992, and you probably don't remember this because you're a couple years younger than me, Perot had dropped out for a couple of months.
And then he came back in,
And
right?
then he came back in, and it was actually October 1st when he rejoined the race. He was polling between 7 and 9%. And he was allowed to debate because the 15% requirement did not exist.
It came after Perot. They figured out a way to keep people like Perot out. And
right. They didn't even have the 15% requirement when he ran again in 96.
Oh.
They did not add that requirement until the year 2000.
Oh, wow. I thought that was the mid-90s when they added that.
No, it was 2000.
So how did he not debate in 96 then?
Because their criteria of we're not hearing people say they want to hear from him. So,
so it was just completely arbitrary then.
It was completely arbitrary.
I mean, it's still arbitrary in that they've arbitrarily selected 15%.
Well, and they select the polls that they want to use.
So they select the most favorable towards their candidates, the Republican and the Democrat. So there's a lot to say about these debates. They're starting again tonight, the first one at 9 p.m., and we'll stream some of it here on Free Talk Live if we get the chance. Of course, your calls and thoughts come first here, so you can share them with us at the toll-free number 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733, and you can Skype into the show at Skype username LRN.FM.
And a search on Google returns absolutely nothing as far as what Darryl Castle is doing tonight. He will be on the ballot in 24 states, and he has write-in status in 10 more. And I think there might be a couple states that he's not on the ballot on.
So wait, he's only on in 24 states?
24.
So that's not enough to win, right? Don't you have to be in like 36 or something like that?
Well, it depends on what states they are.
Right. So when you include and he actually is on the ballot in enough states to where, he passes that 270 electoral vote threshold.
So if he won all 24 states, he could, in theory, win the election, is what you're saying?
He would win the election. Okay. And then when you add in the states where he has write-in status, and then there's a few states that do not have write-in declarations where they claim all write-ins are valid, that those states aren't counted into the write-in certified states, if that makes sense. So people in most of the country will be able to vote for Darryl Castle if they want to.
So we'll, of course, take your calls and thoughts about whatever is on your mind tonight here. Obviously, a lot of people, there's estimates that there may be 100 million Americans, a third of the United States, that will tune into these debates tonight. Melanie, you describe yourself as an anarchist. Were you not sitting in the Free Talk Live studio, would you watch?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Because there is no reason for it. Because it's the same reason I don't watch reality shows.
Okay, fair enough.
I just... It may be one. I'm not sure.
It may be a reality show?
Yeah, and even if it's not, even if it is real, I mean, we pretty much know where they both stand or don't stand. There's no reason to put yourself through that at all whatsoever.
Here's a reason. The drinking game. There are rules for the 16 rules for the 2016.
There's so many to keep track of.
You know what? I've drank a lot in my life, and I've never needed anything like that to help it along. There are a lot less painful drinking games you can engage in.
Well, and they do say that some of these rules here could just be the only rule that you go by. So you could, like, have a group
if not,
of your
you'll
friends.
die of alcohol poisoning.
Right.
So
you
have,
could
have a group of your friends, and each one has a few of these to go by.
I see.
Every time Donald Trump refers to the success of one of his businesses or his negotiating acumen, you take a drink. Note, this one
Where's
will
this coming
probably get you drunk all by itself.
Who deserves credit for this?
Outkickthecoverage.com.
Never heard of them.
Nor have
But
I.
good for them.
But I did a search, and because I saw something on Facebook earlier today, debate drinking game, so I just did a search, and it was the top one. When Hillary directly or indirectly calls Trump a bigot or racist, or calls his supporters bigots or racist.
Okay, this will be good.
Okay, these aren't ways to get drunk. These are ways to die.
Wait, okay, so I like this so far. You're through 2 of the 16. We'll do some more here in a moment. Let's go to your calls and thoughts. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE. We've got Cameron. He's in California, I believe in the Lake Isabella area, listening to KVLI. Hey, Cameron.
Yeah, you're right.
Welcome.
Yeah, did you hear they changed the format tonight for the debates a little different?
No, tell me about that.
Yeah, they're going to stand them 3 feet away and have a food fight, and the winner is president.
Uh-huh.
Little joke. No, I'm going to watch it. I don't have TV service, but I'm going to have to take a bottle of vodka down to my friend Tom's and go from there. But I'm voting for Johnson.
All right, very good. So
Yeah,
why are you
voting
watching?
Liberty.
Is it just for the entertainment value of watching Trump?
Yeah, they're both establishment jokes. So, yeah, it's entertainment. See who gets to be made a bigger fool of. I think that's all my friends are just going, forget it.
Cameron, thanks for calling and sharing your thoughts tonight. I appreciate it. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Let's sprinkle these debate drinking games in here.
And there's a follow-up to if Hillary calls or refers to Trump as a bigot or a racist or his supporters as such. If Trump follows up by countering that Hillary is the actual racist because he loves minorities more than she does, you take a shot.
I don't think shots would be a very good idea because I think, like Melanie said, that could lead to death.
Because it's what, an hour long, hour and a half long? I mean, drinking alcohol for an hour and a half long straight will kill most people.
Depending on what kind of alcohol you're drinking.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you were to lower it to like maybe some beer
Drink
or
some
wine,
twisted tea.
Yeah, something lightweight in comparison to hard liquor. You may survive.
I mean, even still, if you sit down and drink malt liquor for an hour and a half, like that might not kill you like shots would, but
nobody should do that.
What's the percentage
harmful.
What's the alcohol percentage on malt liquor?
5%, same as beer.
Okay, toll-free numbers.
I thought it was more.
Yeah, I for some reason thought it was more too. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, but Melanie, you're the expert in the room.
Apparently.
This is Free Talk Live. You can share your thoughts on the debate or whatever's on your mind. Take control of the airwaves here. Free Talk Live.
Every once in a while, you get information that's worth changing your life for. This is one such time. You can save up to and beyond 25% on all purchases at Amazon. You probably heard of Bitcoin and just not thought much about it. You certainly know that you can get competitive pricing at Amazon, but now you can get a 25% discount on nearly everything you need to live. I've just given you a huge raise, and all you have to do is claim it. You go to saveitpurse.com and open an account. Do this right now. Don't wait. Then you fund the account with Bitcoin. You can buy them through expresscoin.com with a check or money order. There are other ways to get Bitcoin, but that's fast, safe, and easy. This information is worth you changing the way you do things. Go to saveatpurse.com right now, get signed up, and cash in on the huge raise I'm offering you. 15 to 25% off of everything at Amazon through saveatpurse.com. It's saveatpurse.com.
You haven't experienced yogurt until you've tried a Mossy, embodying health and flavor in a true whole milk, green-fed dairy beverage. Every sip pays homage to our old world cows and the ancient culturing methods their milk benefits from. With over 30 probiotics, a Mossy's undeniably nutritious, refined, cultured sensation bolsters your health and awakens your passion for dairy. A Mossy's so good, and you need to try it. Contact your Youngevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com.
Would it be okay if you had 2 paychecks instead of 1? I'm Pharmacist Keith. Dr. Wallach, the Dead Doctors Don't Lie guy, and myself want to show you how to get an extra paycheck every month, creating an extra income that will last for years to come by joining Dr. Wallach's crusade, spreading his message of better health. To learn more, visit radio.recordedvideo.com. That's radio.recordedvideo.com, radio.recordedvideo.com, or call 866-257-3105 for a recorded message.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. You may already know about the Free Talk Live audio-on-demand phone line at 641-793-9660. Did you know that not only can you listen to Free Talk Live via your phone, you can also leave a message and have it delivered to Free Talk Live's hosts? To leave us your thoughts, just dial 641-793-9660. That's 641-793-9660. Press 2 for Free Talk Live, and then hit 0 to leave your message.
This is your Roberts & Roberts Brokerage Daily Precious Metals Update. In early trading Monday, gold is $1 lower at $1,342 per ounce, and silver is 4 cents lower at $19.69 per ounce. Bitcoin is currently trading at $602 US. Roberts & Roberts Brokerage have been helping clients buying and selling precious metals for nearly 40 years. To find out how we can help you, give us a call today at 800-874-9760 or visit us online at rrbi.co.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It is Free Talk Live. You may dial in toll-free and join us here on the radio waves. The number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. With you in studio, it's Ian,
Melanie,
and Darryl.
The debate of the, century so far is coming up here tonight. And I got to say, I wouldn't normally watch a presidential debate unless third parties were involved. But this one promises to be at least entertaining, because if Donald Trump's involved, there's a good chance there will be an entertaining factor.
He'll say something stupid. He'll say something that CNN will have to bleep out, and those will be two completely different things.
Now, wait, CNN's a cable channel. They don't have to bleep him, do they?
They don't have to, but they probably will.
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe because families are viewing,
right?
You really shouldn't subject your children to politicians, in my opinion. But
yeah, because you don't want your kids to hear bad words, but it's okay if they hear about your plan for world domination. That's cool.
Right. So that's coming up here tonight. We'll play some of it on the air for you in the third hour of Free Talk Live. Also, still to come, more of the debate drinking game. Darryl, you've got 16 things to listen and or watch for in the debate, and we'll share some more of those on the way here. Of course, you can take control of the airwaves, and our toll-free number, again, is 855-450-FREE. Plus, if you want to save big time on your purchases at Amazon, then you can do that by going to saveitpurse.com. I just saved, I believe it was 20% on a pack of toner for the printer here in the LRN.FM studio. And if you know how expensive ink is, you know that 20% is a huge savings on that. You could save more than 20%. You just have to be patient and willing to wait. If you want to save less, you'll get it sent to you even faster. It took me several days to get that. And I had to bring down the price from $25. Nobody bit at $25. So you're kind of entering your products that you want to buy at Amazon into a marketplace where people are willing to pay for the Bitcoin that you have. Oh, yeah, that's the catch. You've got to have Bitcoin in order to get these incredible deals from saveitpurse.com. That's saveatpurse.com. Go there, get started. It's super easy to use the site. I've been on it for almost 2 years now and have saved well over $1,000 on purchases that I otherwise would have made anyway. So you're likely going to have to buy something online soon enough. You're probably going to buy it from Amazon. Why not save 10, 15, 20% easily over at saveitpurse.com? That's saveatpurse.com. CNN says it could be the greatest political show on earth. With a tight election on the line, Republican Donald Trump and Democrat Hillary Clinton will face off in just hours at their first presidential debate, a battle 18 months in the making that is emerging as the most hotly anticipated moment in modern U.S. political history. And also the most disgusting moment, because people are frustrated with these candidates. Americans, by and large, not happy with their choices this time around. They're the least popular presidential candidates in the history, at least that we know of U.S. presidential history. So with the audience rivaling that of the Super Bowl, perhaps around 100 million Americans will be glued to their televisions, smartphones, and social media when the rivals rip off the gloves at 9 p.m. Eastern. The debate marks a rare shared experience for a country deeply divided along political lines and fragmented in the media that they consume. Suspense has been building for weeks given the huge political stakes of an increasingly competitive election, and Trump's wild card antics, which will test Clinton's fact-checking skills, means no one can predict how the showdown at Hofstra University in New York will unfold. The rivals spent Monday preparing for their big battle. Clinton took part in mock debates with her tart-tongued former aide playing Trump. In one practice debate, the aide, Mr. Philip Raines, assumed the character of the unpredictable Trump by praising Clinton for her role as a pioneer for women, said campaign sources. The Republican nominee, on the other hand, has watched videos of Clinton, but his preparation has been less intense than his opponents. In keeping with his more freewheeling style, he did not hold mock debates, for instance, with someone standing in for Clinton. It also emerged on Monday that there is no written agreement setting out the terms for the debates between the campaigns. Now, that sounds shocking to me.
It does, because every other debate hosted by the CPD has had some kind of agreement to where everything was scripted out.
Not only that, but like they have an agreement down to like the temperature of the auditorium. These are the things that they come to a memorandum of understanding in the initial phases of figuring this whole debate
and
thing out.
And that memorandum of understanding also generally includes a clause saying that you will not participate in any other debates outside of the CPD-hosted debates.
So, it's not clear what this means. When it says that there's no written agreement setting out the terms for the debates between the campaigns, does that mean that the candidates have not signed the agreement you're talking about where, okay, well, if we're going to be in the CPD debates, the Commission on Presidential Debates, which are the debates that are held, then we agree to not go, or I, as a candidate, agree to not be in another debate. Would that be separate from an agreement between the two campaigns? Would that be an agreement that would be individual with the Commission on Presidential Debates? Are we talking about more than one agreement
here?
I
don't know.
Yeah, I don't either, and it's not made clear in this story. So they talk about the stakes being monumental and how the polling numbers are showing both candidates being relatively neck and neck at this point. And now this is coming up in just a few hours. I'm not going to get into the rest of their analysis, but what about the third-party candidates? What about Gary Johnson? What about Jill Stein, the two third-party candidates who are being included in some of the national polls, which is kind of an unusual thing in the first place. I remember the previous elections, it was hard to find polls that would list the third-party candidates. Do you think, Darryl, that there are more polls that are actually bothering to list the third parties this time around? Because that's how I feel, but I don't know if that's true.
I think there might be a few more that are including them, but I do know that in years past there have been organizations that have included them.
Right.
I just think, and I'm going to use a sports analogy here, so forgive me. I think in a lot of ways the presidential election, as it relates to minor party candidates, is a lot like college football, with the teams outside of the so-called Big Five conferences, to where if you go undefeated one year, you might break into the top 25, but then you've got to win every game the next year to wind up being in the top 10, and then they want you to go undefeated a third year before they even consider you for one of the big bowl games. And, like, there are teams in the Big Five conferences. Oh, yeah, they lost a game, but it was the first game of the season, and it was by 2 points. And so here's all these excuses, and they're in the championship game. And then you've got this undefeated team that, they're in a bowl game, but not the championship because, well, they're not in one of the major conferences. But that's how the presidential elections are. I think that a lot of the companies that are including Stein and Johnson would not necessarily be doing that this year had Stein and Johnson not also been the presidential candidates 4 years ago.
Really? You think that kind of laid the, the padding or the pavement for them on that?
Yes.
Toll-free number.
And of course, I have absolutely no way to, prove my theory here, because the only way to prove it is to build a time machine, have an alternate universe where they're not the candidates this year, and then see who winds up being included in polls.
Yep, it's hard to do apples to apples comparisons with politics like that. Toll free number here is 855-450 free. That's 855-450-3733, and you can Skype in here. It's Skype username LRN.FM. Coming up here on Free Talk Live, what will Gary Johnson and Jill Stein be doing during this presidential debate that is coming up later tonight?
This is an alert. If your business or church is building this year, you're about to pay more than you should. This could mean thousands of dollars more for your office, retail space, church, or warehouse. A General Steel building can save you as much as half the cost and time of similar conventional construction. And we're offering rebates of up to $20,000 to help you build today. Call General Steel for free information that could save you thousands. Call 866-91-STEEL. 866-91-STEEL. 866-91-STEEL.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
So, I heard somebody say that 50 is the new 25. I mean, I can live with that, but isn't age just a number? I mean, if you feel good and look good, who cares about numbers anyway? I take care of myself, and, well, I use Nature's Youth RSF from, you guessed it, Nature's Youth. Think of the money you spend on things that make you feel better for just a little bit, and then think of spending the same amount or less on something that can make you look and feel better for a lifetime. How about the facts? The ingredients in Nature's Youth RSF work naturally, providing just the right environment to support healthy HGH levels while maintaining homeostasis. RSF is non-toxic, and it doesn't contain any synthetic hormones which can weaken your endocrine system. Simply add RSF to your sensible diet and exercise plan. You can, and will, thank me later. Forget about that aging number I mentioned and focus on the anti-aging number. 800-333-6923. That's 800-333-6923 and online at naturesyouth.com. Nature's Youth. Live your life.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org. DVD, books, music, instruments, periodicals, computers, software, electronics, photo, cell phones, office products, home and garden, bed and bath, furniture, kitchen, pet supplies, automotive, hardware, apparel, shoes, jewelry, grocery, healthcare, sports and outdoors, toys, games, used, and more. It's a department store at your fingertips. Shop.freetalklive.com. Get all your shopping done, get a great deal, and a portion of your purchase goes to benefit Free Talk Live when you enter Amazon via shop.freetalklive.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper, FPP News, at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You may dial toll-free here and join us. 855-450. Free is the number. That's 855-450-3733. We also have Skype. You can Skype in here at the username lrn.fm. Where will the third-party candidates be tonight during the presidential debate? The first one to happen here in 2016 between the Democrat and Republican nominees, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. But the third-party candidates who are qualified on enough state ballots to theoretically win the election, should they get enough votes, are going to be excluded. And that's because the Commission on Presidential Debates has decided to basically make it as difficult as possible for third parties to be included, because they really don't want the American people to hear any other options, any other thoughts on how things should be done in D.C., even though on this show we don't necessarily get excited about either of the other third-party candidates, the Libertarian and Green Party candidates.
Those are the two major of all of the other party candidates.
There are a few others. There's the Constitution Party, and I saw Rocky de la Fuente is on the ballot in New Hampshire.
The Reform Party and American Delta Party. His label here, he created a party label called American Delta Party. I don't know why he came up with that name, but that's the name. That's the ballot label he will be using in New Hampshire. Some states he's
How many did he get on?
I don't know, but I can find out.
Okay, just curiosity. It's not that important. But tonight, it's just going to be the two main parties. They're going to lock out as many of the other candidates as possible. And odds are good they're not going to be in any other debates, because even though there are at least two more, I believe, scheduled, so I've heard.
Two more CPD scheduled, and I think Free and Equal is trying to organize something, but I don't know.
A third-party debate? Because they did that before, right?
They did that 4 years ago, where they actually had two debates 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. To where the first debate they had four candidates on stage. They invited six, but of course Romney and Obama refused. So they had Rocky Anderson of the Justice Party, Virgil Goode of the Constitution Party, Gary Johnson of Libertarian Party, and Jill Stein of the Green.
Mm-hmm.
Those four debated, and then there was a popularity contest to see who would go on to the final debate, and it was Gary and Jill.
So let's get a few more drinking game rules in here. We'll sprinkle those in throughout the show here tonight. You started with, the first three, I think we got through?
The first two with a follow-up to rule number 2.
All right. Pick up on
if
3.
Donald Trump mentions Bill Clinton's affairs while in the Oval Office, take a drink.
You see, now you got to hand it to Donald Trump. I saw the headlines about Jennifer Flowers. Apparently, he invited Jennifer Flowers, who's, I guess, one of the women Bill Clinton had sex with. I remember her name from back in the day, but I don't remember the details on
allegedly, he sexually assaulted, I believe.
Okay. And this was during his marriage to Hillary Clinton as well. So apparently Trump actually invited Jennifer Flowers to the debate to sit like in the front row or something like that.
Yeah, I saw something about that.
And I guess she accepted.
And that brings us to the follow-up to Rule 3.
Okay.
Or Drinking Game Rule 3. If Trump accuses Bill Clinton of rape and Hillary of covering it up, take a shot.
All right.
When Hillary references Donald Trump's bankruptcies or refers to his business as unsuccessful, take a drink.
Shot. All right.
The Hillary camp is convinced this is the way to make Donald Trump lose his temper, which, to be fair, is pretty interesting because Trump has run his entire campaign furious at the entire world. When has he ever not lost his temper? They say when Trump uses the word huge.
Yeah, I figured that one would be in there.
Drink. If he refers to his huge manhood, take
Is that
a shot.
something he does? Oh, sorry, Melanie. I don't know what happened there. Go ahead.
He has been known to do that, yeah.
And also point out the fact that I don't have tiny hands. Although somebody did some digging and they found his handprint in one of these places and they sketched it out, and then they did the size thing of if you're X number of inches tall, your hand proportionally should be so large.
Yeah.
And found out that he does have below average hands for his height.
Which suggests that he has a small penis, right?
That's the claim, yes. If he refers to his huge manhood, stands up, drops his pants, swings it around like a helicopter, this may seem uncouth.
If he does
but
that,
it
I might vote
probably
for him.
wins him Florida. What'd you say?
I said if he does that, I might vote for him.
So for that one, do you drink a whole bottle of wine?
Just chug whatever's in front of you. Just finish your drink. Every time.
What number are we on? I'm losing track here.
That's number 5.
Okay, now we're
every
number
time
6?
number 6.
Okay.
Every time Hillary mentions Barack Obama, take a drink. And then they have a little.
Oh yeah, she's gonna want to make it look like she is the next, anointed one for this. And
right. And remember that 8 years ago, when Hillary and Obama were running against one another for
primary.
the Democratic nomination, they said horrible things about each other. They each said that the other was not fit to be president. Now she knows that she needs the black vote. So it's possible that she will wind up embracing Obama as much as possible.
Well, she needs every vote she can get. At this point, it is, according to the polls, tied up. But again, as we've seen, the polls don't even mean anything.
Well, not only that, you can't look at the national poll and then try to determine who's going to win.
No, it never works.
Well, there are 51 different elections that happen. And actually, arguably, 56.
So like Puerto Rico and Guam?
No, because Maine and Nebraska use a district method for apportioning their electors. So if you win a single congressional district in Maine or Nebraska, you get one elector.
Okay.
And then if you win statewide, you get 2. So the 50 states plus D.C. plus add on the 5 congressional districts in Maine and Nebraska that are essentially their own elections. But you had asked the question about where are Jill Stein and Gary Johnson going to be?
Yeah.
Jill Stein was escorted off the premises of Hofstra University a couple hours ago.
Interesting.
4 years ago, she was arrested for disorderly conduct and handcuffed to a chair at Hofstra University.
Wow.
She tried her luck again this year, but was simply escorted off campus.
Well, now there's apparently a warrant out for her arrest as well.
In North Dakota.
Okay.
See,
Right.
I gotta, even though she's a communist, I kind of gotta respect her because
Absolutely.
whatever she's saying, she means it, and that's more than I can say for, I think, anyone else running right now. But
Yep. Gary Johnson's nowhere to be found in comparison. I read a story saying he's 30 miles away. There's an ABC News piece here. He's 30 miles away. He'll be watching the debate on television at the Twitter head offices in Manhattan. I don't know if it's their head office, but it probably is if it's in Manhattan. And he's going to have a Twitter handle with which he will be able to tweet whatever it is he wants to. So perhaps he will respond to some of the questions via Twitter, which of course will limit him to 140 characters. He'll be a lot more, or I guess a lot briefer than the candidates on stage. Whether there's going to be video of Johnson or not, I don't know. You were telling me, Darryl, that Jill Stein's going to be streaming.
There will be video of Jill Stein on both Twitter and Facebook, where she will be using Periscope on Twitter and Facebook Live. And she is actually going to be using this to insert herself into the debates. So she will be, presumably listening to the question, giving her response, and then if there's follow-ups, I'm guessing she will respond to those. I'm really not sure. But hopefully sometime during this 9 o'clock hour, we'll be able to, catch a glimpse of it.
Bob Barr did that back when he ran.
Did a live stream?
He did a debate where he paused the debate and then answered the questions as if he was there.
Was it live when the debate was happening, or was that like a later
Yeah, well,
on
it ended up being delayed because he was pausing it, but yeah, it was live.
I see. Toll-free number tonight is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We've got more of the debate drinking game rules coming up, and you can share your thoughts with us. It's Free Talk Live.
People who can afford a LASIK procedure sure are lucky. Imagine being able to throw away your contacts and glasses. Imagine waking up tomorrow with 20/20 vision. Too bad everyone can't afford LASIK. Well, guess what? There's a company that agrees with you. TLC Laser Eye Centers is now offering great prices on high-quality LASIK to make it affordable for everyone. That means you get the latest FDA-approved all-laser LASIK technology for less than what others charge. And if you call right now, we'll schedule a free appointment so you can discover if LASIK is right for you. Results may vary. Call 1-800-929-5733. Even better, if you're one of the first 100 callers, ask about an extra $400 off your all-laser LASIK procedure. That's $200 off per eye. We've already performed over 2 million procedures. Let us help you. Discover how you can get the quality LASIK experience you deserve for less than what others charge. For your free appointment, call 1-800-929-5733. 1-800-929-5733.
Will the government protect your family from Iran and North Korea's newest weapon, EMP? We buy guns to protect ourselves, home, health, and car insurance for accidents. Maybe you also have food storage. But how would you keep your refrigerator running in a long-term EMP blackout? Using tested military designs, the Solarc EMP-hardened solar generator protects and powers your critical appliances for years without burying items underground or wrapping them in aluminum foil. Unlike other preps, Solarc is used every day to help offset your electric bill automatically. Visit PortableSolarLLC.com to learn how easily expandable the system is. Solarc is the most affordable and powerful solution on the market. The whole system even fits in the back of a pickup or SUV and can install in less than an hour. See for yourself why Solarc beats other off-grid systems at PortableSolarLLC.com. Don't wait for the government. Go to PortableSolarLLC.com to learn why Solarc is energy insurance for your family.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your AMP will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you AMP Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial in, bring up what you want. The number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Estimated 100 million Americans going to be watching the debate that's going to be on the air tonight, apparently on CNN. We'll air some of it here on Free Talk Live and give you some commentary, although we'll also go to your calls and thoughts, because you can call in, take control of the airwaves. You can bring up anything that happens to be on your mind. And I also want to let you know about the Free Talk Live listening lines. There's an on-demand audio listen line that you can call up any time of day or night. As long as your phone can dial long distance, you can call this number. It's 641-793-9660. Now, if you pay for long distance, you probably don't want to call that number, but if you get unlimited free long distance with, like most cell phone packages have these days, lots of landline packages have that, if you're getting unlimited long distance, this will cost you nothing, and you can listen to the latest episode of Free Talk Live as well as close to a dozen shows from LRN.FM, in addition to the LRN.FM live feed. It's all there at 641-793-9660. Plus, you can leave us a voicemail. We played one of the voicemails that we received last night on the air, so we might just play your voicemail on the air. If you got something to say and you can't call us during the live show, this is another option for you. 641-793-9660. Choose the show you want to listen to, and then while you're listening, if you decide you want to leave a voicemail, you can hit 0, and then we'll get that voicemail in our email box. Let's go to Jeff in Rollins, Wyoming. Coming up, though, more of the drinking game rules for tonight's debate. Go ahead, Jeff. You're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Hi. Sorry if I'm changing the subject.
No, it's Free Talk Live. You can call in about anything you want. So
please change the subject.
Go right ahead.
So what I was wondering about is regarding the Tor browser.
Yeah, the Tor browser. That stands for the Onion Router. It is an anonymizing system for the Internet, supposedly. Although right now there's some question as to how the federal government was able to basically break its anonymization in a recent investigation that they conducted on a child pornography website. But generally, people consider Tor to be an anonymizing option for the Internet. Go ahead.
So I just got it, and I was just experimenting around, and I ran into a forum, and it directed me to a website that's actually on the ClearNet, or the regular internet. Right. And what it said kind of disturbed me was basically it is known that you're using Tor, like that's not a hidden thing. And
when you say that, you mean that if you're connected to Tor, that like your internet provider would know that you're connected to Tor, based on the ports or whatever that you're opening up.
So my question is this article is saying that the FBI is they are going to start issuing warrants to do searches on Tor users, and that would be their probable cause. And I was just wondering if you'd heard that, or if there's any validity to that.
Just to clear something up here, you're saying they would get a warrant to search a Tor user just because they're using Tor? I'm not sure if that's going to be considered probable cause.
That doesn't fly. They'd have to have something else.
No, this sounds like something that I had actually brought in for show prep, to where the headline is "Cops are raiding homes of innocent people based only on IP addresses." And what it is, it's the people that are actually running the Tor exit nodes.
Mm-hmm.
All of the bad stuff is coming out through this exit node, and it's looking like they're, doing all the naughty things.
Right.
And that would give a police officer probable cause to get a warrant. But
well, once you somehow had that information in the first place, because you can't just go. I mean.
Well, no. What he's saying is the cops would have the information of, hey, somebody's posting child pornography or assassination plots
from IP address. XYZ.12.
Right, and then they go there.
That just happens to be Melanie's IP address, but you're not doing the stuff. You're running the Tor exit node. So
and the
all
exit
of the
stuff, but how would I'm saying, how would they get? I mean, legally, how would they? I don't see how they're, unless they have.
They would set up a site like they did with the Playpen site, the child porn
so it's
site.
their site. Okay.
They would take it over or something like that, and then everybody who goes to that site. Now you're talking about the ClearNet, because the exit nodes are what comes out of Tor. So what's in Tor are the hidden sites, and then the times if you're using Tor and you go to a regular internet website on Tor, you will be anonymized to that website. They won't know who you are, and
if
they will have the IP of the exit node, which could be handed over to police.
And if you're running a relay node, nobody has any clue who you are.
In theory, right.
Well, right, and like even if you're not on an exit node, if you're just on the dark web on Tor, even if they were to somehow consider that PC, which they're not getting, they'd have to have something else. If Tor is, and I mean, I don't want to say unbreakable, but to the extent that it is unbreakable, you could have a warrant all day long. If you can't hack into it, the warrant's not doing you any good. If they can't get in, they can't get in.
Well, what I'm wondering about is my house going to get raided if I've used Tor?
Are you running an exit node?
I guess I am. I'm still kind of new to this.
Yes, you are. It's unlikely that
that's not something that you accidentally do.
Right? Yeah, you don't just just by running Tor does not mean you're running an exit node. You have to go through specific steps in order to run an exit node. You have to know what you're doing, basically. So I highly suspect you are not running an exit node. If you're just using the Tor browser, they call it the Tor browser bundle. That's what you download. It makes it really easy to use. So if you're just using that, then odds are good that nobody's going to know necessarily. However, you should be aware that the FBI does have a way of breaking the anonymity of Tor. It's believed that they're doing it through the browser, some sort of bug in the Firefox browser that they're using for the Tor browser. So the belief is that Tor is not broken, but the browser they're using for their browser bundle does have some sort of bug in it.
Then they were still only able to do that through websites they were running, right? Because that was my understanding of what I read.
Correct.
So, like, if you're just on the dark web, if you're not on a website that the FBI or the feds are running, right?
That's the thing. You don't know if you're on an FBI honeypot website or not. And so honeypot being the term to attract people to, whatever it is that might be illegal. In the case of the
Playpen.
In the case of the FBI, they took over a website called Playpen back in, I think it was 2015. They ran that site. It was a child pornography website, a very popular one. They ran that site for a 2-week time frame, and in that 2-week time frame, they gathered IP address information as well as other details about the computers that were accessing that site. And it's so far unknown exactly how they went about doing that.
We'll see.
There has been a case in which there's been like 200 cases nearly of people who were arrested because of this particular hack that the FBI pulled off. And in one of the cases, the judge threw out the evidence in the case that the FBI had gathered because the FBI would not turn over to the defense for discovery details about their hack. So the FBI thought it was so important to protect their hack that they were willing to scuttle the case entirely in order to protect it because they didn't want to reveal what their secret was.
Well, I'm actually not convinced that that's why they wouldn't turn it over. But also the other possibility that I think we have to consider is that that's not actually what happened either. Because I know that there were ways
not what happened?
That they actually got not hacked Tor, but they actually hacked the system because
they believe it's a browser exploit.
Right,
if you have Java turned on Tor, one, it's not smart, but two, that is a way to exploit.
Because there's ways to make Tor not work basically, and then we don't know that they got real IP addresses. They could just have an IP list of people they don't like, and said these are the hits to play.
They've made hundreds of arrests off of this. If what you're saying is that this is all BS and that they don't actually have a hack. I'm not saying it was. It could be, since they're not releasing how they did it. It could be. It also could have been just a list of people who used Tor improperly, and so it wasn't actually functioning.
Well, the FBI still hasn't said exactly how they found the server that Ross Ulbricht was using when
that's true.
They wound up, finding the server because a magical fairy came down and told them where it is. That makes as much sense as the BS story that the FBI came up with that does not work with the way computers operate.
Well, right, but obviously Ross Ulbricht actually exists. We don't know that about these other sites. And there's one that we have really good reason to believe wasn't real. So,
all right, hold that thought. Jeff, I want to hold on to you here. If you got more to say, we'll bring you back here. We'll continue the discussion in hour number 2. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. It sounded like his question was, is he safe to use Tor? My answer is, I don't know about that at this point. And the Tor people don't even yet know what this exploit is. Melanie, you're saying it might not even be real. I don't know about that either. Free Talk Live has partnered with Amazon, the largest internet retailer. Imagine a department store category, and Amazon has it. Books, electronics, office products, furniture, jewelry, automotive, toys, clothing, sporting goods, and dozens of other categories. Now you can shop and support Free Talk Live by entering Amazon through our website. Go to shop.freetalklive.com, and Amazon will send us a portion of your purchase. You're going to do the shopping anyway, so remember to enter through our site at shop.freetalklive.com. That's shop.freetalklive.com. Here's a good idea. When you have a legal matter like creating your will or legally setting up a business with a corporation or LLC, you don't necessarily need a law firm. Use LegalZoom.com. At LegalZoom.com, you answer straightforward questions online, and they take care of the rest. They even review your answers for common mistakes and guarantee your satisfaction. Free Talk Live listeners, you'll get 10% off your order by typing in FTL in the referral box at purchase. Don't procrastinate with these important legal documents. LegalZoom.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, September 26th, 2016. Silver is trading at $19.49 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,338 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $608.
Antiwar.com reports Saudi airstrikes over the weekend targeting the Yemeni city of Ib, a city controlled by the Shiite Houthis, have once again ended with civilians being killed, with locals reporting at least 10 civilians slain in the strikes, including 3 children. Strikes were reported against several areas of the city, and there were no reports of any combatants among the slain. In addition to the deaths, the local hospital reported another 9 civilians wounded who had been discharged from the hospital. Ib is on the hugely important N1 highway, which connects the capital city of Sana'a, under the control of the Houthis, with the southern port of Aden, which is the de facto capital of the pro-Saudi half of the country. Ib is just north of Taiz, a city long contested between the two factions. Since all the fighting is south in Taiz, there is very little in the way of Houthi forces inside Ib, with many locals complaining that the Saudi attacks are unjustified, with no military and little government presence to be targeted. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spend-A-Bit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spend-A-Bit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. UPI reports 3 people were killed after 2 single-engine planes collided in the skies near Buffalo, New York on Sunday morning, according to officials. A man from Hamburg, New York, and a couple from nearby Eden, New York, were the only 3 people on the 2 planes, a Cessna and a Piper Cherokee, that are both single-engine, single-propeller planes. Officials from the Erie County Sheriff's Office said at a media briefing that the small aircrafts collided shortly before 9:30 a.m., leaving a small debris field over 1/4 to 1/2 mile section. 6 planes took off together around 9 a.m. from Hamburg Airport, according to Larry Walsh, the airport's vice president. Walsh said they were planning to go to breakfast in St. Mary's, Pennsylvania, and plan to return later in the day. Karen Ricotta, a North Collinstown justice, told the newspaper, "When I looked outside, you could see something next door on a mowed farm field. I couldn't identify what it was." She added, "But when I went outside, another man driving by pulled in my yard and told me it was a plane in the field." Town Supervisor John M. Tobias said one of the crashed planes landed in a field and the other between a metal storage building and a wooded area. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports Tommy Smith and John Carlos, the 2 African-American athletes sent home from the 1968 Olympic Games for their raised fist protest on the medal podium, will receive a long-awaited moment of redemption at a U.S. team event at the White House this week. Carlos told Reuters on Sunday the 2 were invited by the U.S. Olympic Committee to attend a gala dinner on Wednesday in Washington, D.C., honoring the 2016 Olympic team and accompanying the team to meet President Barack Obama at the White House the following day. The image of Smith and Carlos, gold and bronze medalists in the 200-meter track event in Mexico City, thrusting their black gloved fist into the air, has become an enduring symbol of the fight for racial equality. Their example has surfaced repeatedly in the past weeks as an inspiration to NFL and college football players protesting racial injustice after the fatal shooting of several men by police. Smith and Carlos paid a high price for their protest, not only in the Olympic Committee, but also in the court of public opinion. Standing in black socks, the 2 Americans bowed their heads and pushed their fists into the air as the U.S. anthem played, shocking the world and many Americans reeling from a turbulent year in the fight for civil rights. They were suspended from the U.S. Olympic team and sent back to the United States. Carlos said he did not expect or want an explicit apology from the Olympic Committee for sending him and Smith home because their actions were in clear violation of the policy. He said, however, that over time and as their raised fist salute has become a precedent of sorts, U.S. Olympic officials have a better understanding of the reason behind their protest. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
According to a new report released this week by the Pew Research Center, a rising number of weak, emasculated men are working as stay-at-home dads, with a steadily increasing number of feeble, pathetic fayboys choosing to spend their days cooking, cleaning, and performing other submissive duties.
Well, our findings indicate that more and more pussified half-men are not going to work, and instead are embarrassing themselves by purchasing groceries, packing children's lunches, and denying all aspects of their masculinity on a daily basis.
The Onion spoke to one of these effete, pathetic excuses for men to get his response on the new report.
I love being able to stay home with Angela. I mean, it's a lot of work, but I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
What a f***ing pussy. For more on this story, check this week's Onion Review.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. Coming up, more of the debate drinking game rules. Darryl's got some of those. There's 16 of them. I think we're through like 6 or 7 or something.
We are through 6 of them.
Yep, we'll get through the rest of them here throughout the show tonight. With you in studio, it's Ian.
Melanie.
And Darryl.
And also, don't forget to join us online anytime you want. Just head over to freetalklive.com and you can get interactive there. Listen by various different means, everything from 165 plus radio stations to satellite listening options in various different countries around the globe. We've got live streams, our webcam, which is now available on YouTube and Facebook Live, and also listen lines. Got lots of different ways to tune in. Go to listen.freetalklive.com to learn more about those. As we continue here, we'll take more of your calls and thoughts, and we'll get back into Tor if we get the chance, because we did have a gentleman on the line. He dropped off during the news there, and I don't think we'd finished our discussion, however, even though he's gone. So I'd like to come back to it. Let's go first, though, to Jacqueline, calling from Arizona, listening to K-Talks. Hello, Jacqueline.
Hello, hi. How are you?
Hey, great. Go ahead with your thoughts tonight.
Actually, all I had was a question. I just wanted to know if the debate was going to be put on the radio, because I'm homeless, and this is the only way that I have to keep in touch with what's going on in the politics.
Well, I can't guarantee you how much of it we will air, because we're an open phone show and we'll talk to anybody about pretty much anything. But I do have the intention. Okay. I do have the intention of airing some of the debate, although it will likely be interspersed with commentary by the hosts of this show. So if you're looking for an uninterrupted airing of the debate, that's not going to happen on Free Talk Live. We will likely make fun of both of the political candidates. We will likely tear apart the things that come out of their mouths. So, yeah, we're going to have as much fun with it as we can.
NPR, according to a news report that I'm seeing, NPR will be airing.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, that's good to know.
So if you're really interested in listening to it, find an NPR station.
Yes, I am.
Otherwise, we will be mocking it.
Yeah, well, we're going to have fun with it here. So if you want to have fun with the debate, stick with us. If you want to have a boring debate, then, go with another feed.
Or, hold on, listen to the rest of the
I like to have fun with it, because I want to see if Mr. Clinton coughs, hacks up a lung, or falls out.
All right. Well, Jacqueline, thank you for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. And again, you're out there listening on K-Talks.
And if Hillary begins to cough or passes out, you drink. If they cut to a commercial break when that happens, take a shot.
So wait, is there a difference between just drinking any old thing and taking a shot? Are there two different types of drinks?
It's sounding to me like shots or if it specifically says take a shot, it's hard liquor. If not, they're talking about beer.
So they are saying you need to have some sort of beer and hard liquor.
Which makes this game actually a whole lot more safer if you're using beer.
Yes.
Okay.
Drinking games, you use beer. You don't sit there and swig, whiskey or, something like that.
All right, I thought
that's idea. Probably how normal people do it. That makes more sense now, actually.
Give me another drinking game rule while we're at it.
When Trump visibly reacts with a face of disbelief to something Hillary says, take a drink. If he leaves his jaw hanging open for more than 3 seconds, take a shot.
Okay, now it's making more sense. Now I was trying to figure out these modifications. So there's like rule and then modified or like secondary
So then
rule.
you're going to have drunk people sitting there trying to gauge time.
So the secondary
That doesn't work
rule,
well.
the secondary rule is the shot one. The first rule is just to take a drink of whatever.
It's either the take a shot or finish your drink.
Okay.
So
okay.
sometimes you might crack open a fresh beer. They do the thing, you take a drink.
You have to finish the
and
whole
then they do
thing.
the modifier, and then you have to just swig whatever you've got.
Now, which one of them was that? Because maybe I just missed, in the ones we've been through so far, which of the modifiers was you got to finish your drink on this?
None of those yet.
Okay, all right. I definitely want to hear one of those. Let's get into that in moments. Your calls and thoughts here. Let's go to Alex. I don't know. Were you Florida? Alex, where are you at tonight?
Yeah, I'm in Florida tonight.
All right, you're on the air. Go ahead.
All right, so I'm curious what you guys are have any predictions for the debate. I'm really excited. If Keck be willing, this will be really good.
I think I can safely predict a lot of drunken Americans tonight. That's my prediction.
Yeah,
what about you, Darryl and Melanie?
I can safely predict that I will, not go out of my way to watch any of the video of the debate because I don't believe a word that Hillary or Trump say, and it will not affect my decision on Election Day at all.
I don't know if that's a prediction. I mean, are you predicting your own behavior?
I'm predicting my own behavior of I will not go out of my way to watch. So, like, tomorrow I'm not going to go do a Google search for debate highlights.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, that's no fun.
All right, Melanie, do you have a prediction for tonight's debate?
I'll be predicting what? Like there's going to be foolishness and there's yelling and screaming and disorganization and then they're going to go home. That's what a debate is. I mean, like if you have like a local level debate with people you've never heard of who don't have established histories, who, you go and you read their platform on their website, and you might watch that debate. That would make sense. I have watched local debates from people who were either new or I didn't know them, and it was a local election, so it made sense. I'm not going to watch a federal presidential debate like that. Why would I do that?
Well, you can definitely predict that they're going to be advocating for more government, more intrusion, more oppression, more police states.
I doubt either one of them.
That's just what a debate is.
I doubt either one of them will say that they actually want to decrease the size of government.
What I think will be interesting about this debate, though, is that I don't think there's going to be as many blows to each other. I think they sort of have like a mutual destruction type of deal. They're not going to want to attack each other. And I don't think Trump will want to attack.
Are you kidding me? Why? I mean, that's...
Well, they're old friends. They went to each other's weddings.
Yeah, but look, Trump's trying to brush all that under the rug. I mean, he's trying to make it look like she's the enemy and he's going to attack her.
He's a donor to the Clinton Foundation. Like, he goes
but he's
playing
But he's not advertising that.
He's playing a role.
Well,
he's playing the role of attacking Hillary Clinton. I mean, has he ever not attacked her in the recent months? Of course not. He's been attacking her, has he not?
Well, there's a dynamic that I'm sure his advisors are telling him that not to go out there and attack, because if he gets up there and attacks, because Hillary Clinton is a woman, there's a lot of people who will accuse him of like bullying. It will be seen as
I mean, there's a handful of people who'll do that, but people do not like Hillary, and for good reason. People don't like Trump for good reason, also, obviously. No, she's not going to be able to play that card effectively with most people.
I think it's going to be open season on both of them tonight. I think they're both going to be. I mean, they both have already been playing dirty politics, and it's not going to stop.
I've got an actual prediction of the debate, not my response or my behavior. Hillary will be wearing a pantsuit.
All right, that's not really going out on a limb, but yes, it's a good.
It's not
prediction.
going out on a limb.
Mine weren't either. All right, Alex, anything else you want to share about your predictions?
Well, the last thing is that I think the questions are not going to allow either candidate to really go deeply into their platform as much as I would like.
Well, they don't want to. The candidates. If the candidates, that's what the questions are designed to do. They're designed to be fluff. They're designed to be entertainment to people who, for some reason, find this entertaining. They're not designed to be philosophical or even strategic.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate, and I think it would play to the Trump side, talking actual platform, because that's something that he's accused of quite often. Like on his website, he has, written out deep, platform that's well fleshed out. But in the media, they always say like, "Oh, he doesn't have a plan. He doesn't have a plan," and this would give him an opportunity to to tell those people who have bought into that no, he does in fact have a plan. It's just you're not going to hear it in sound bites. But I don't think he'll be able to do that, because I don't think the people doing the debate, like you said, are going to be getting into deep, like, philosophical or even platform questions, really.
Well, it's not like whatever his plan is going to matter. I mean, politicians always have some
his plan
plan.
is so great.
Yeah.
It's the best plan.
Huge.
He's got all of the best plans to do all of the greatest things.
Yeah, I mean, politicians always have plans, but they never come to fruition because it requires the other politicians to go along with it in the House and the Senate, and so it's just a bunch of talk. Sorry. Thanks for the call, Alex. Appreciate hearing from you, Melanie. What were you trying to jump in there with?
Well, if he does have some well thought out plan, even if he can't get the whole thing out, you still can get in stuff.
Sure, that's true.
In a place where you're being cut off all the time.
Free Talk Live.
Know that sound? That's the sound of trouble for CPAP users. Did you know that just one drop of water in your CPAP system can become a breeding ground for mold and bacteria? Breathe that stuff in and you're battling respiratory infections, allergy attacks, and more. But here's good news. SoClean.com has released the world's first and only automated CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. It's the healthier way to clean your system because it kills 99.9% of germs in minutes. For a limited time, you can try it risk-free for 30 days. Just call 1-800-951-9693. SoClean makes cleaning your CPAP a breeze. It's completely hands-free. Just pop in your mask, close the lid, and presto, your CPAP system is clean and fresh in minutes. Don't let one drop of water wreak havoc on your body. Call SoClean.com now for your risk-free trial while supplies last. 1-800-951-9693. That's 1-800-951-9693.
Will the government protect your family from Iran and North Korea's newest weapon, EMP? We buy guns to protect ourselves, home, health, and car insurance for accidents. Maybe you also have food storage. But how would you keep your refrigerator running in a low temperature? No! Using tested military designs, the Solarc EMP-hardened solar generator protects and powers your critical appliances for years without burying items underground or wrapping them in aluminum foil. Unlike other preps, Solarc is used every day to help offset your electric bill automatically. Visit PortableSolarLLC.com to learn how easily expandable the system is. Solarc is the most affordable and powerful solution on the market. The whole system even fits in the back of a pickup or SUV and can install in less than an hour. See for yourself why Solarc beats other off-grid systems at PortableSolarLLC.com. Don't wait for the government. Go to PortableSolarLLC.com to learn why Solarc is energy insurance for your family.
Every once in a while, you get information that's worth changing your life for. This is one such time. You can save up to and beyond 25% on all purchases at Amazon. You probably heard of Bitcoin and just not thought much about it. You certainly know that you can get competitive pricing at Amazon, but now you can get a 25% discount on nearly everything you need to live. I've just given you a huge raise, and all you have to do is claim it. You go to saveitpurse.com and open an account. Do this right now. Don't wait. Then you fund the account with Bitcoin. I know this sounds unbelievable, but at my house, we saved as much as 45% off of a new item on Amazon. This information is worth you changing the way you do things. Go to saveitpurse.com right now, get signed up, and cash in on the huge raise I'm offering you. 15 to 25% off of everything at Amazon through saveitpurse.com. It's saveatpurse.com.
For years, LRN.FM has had a listen line that you can call and listen to LRN.FM anytime. Now we're taking the idea to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line. You can call 641-793-9660 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed, and you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 641-793-9660 and choose from the menu. 641-793-9660.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. With you in the studio in Keene, New Hampshire tonight, it's Ian,
Melanie,
and Darryl.
We've got Skype where you can join us at username LRN.FM. And also our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Plus, you can join us online anytime you want. Just head on over to freetalklive.com and enjoy the features there. If you want to help support the show and get your shopping done at the same time, you can go to shop.freetalklive.com, enter Amazon through the links you'll find there, and when you do that, Free Talk Live gets a cut of the purchase. So whatever it is you're buying, you're probably going to buy it anyway. You might as well do it through shop.freetalklive.com. Otherwise, all the money goes to Amazon. If you go through shop.freetalklive.com, then a portion of their profits will go to Free Talk Live. So you get the stuff you want, and you help Free Talk Live out at the same time. Everybody wins when you start your shopping at shop.freetalklive.com. As we go back to your phone calls and thoughts, coming up, more of the debate drinking game. There's 16 rules, and it's more like a bunch more than 16 because each one has like a modifier.
Right.
It's more like 30 rules or something like that. Let's go to Ricky, though. He's calling on Skype. Hello, Ricky.
Ian, good evening.
Hey, Ricky, what's on your mind tonight?
Well, I wanted to kind of chime in on this debate, but I wanted to mention something. You know, I don't think I missed it. Hey, I don't think I've heard Ralph for like a very long time.
You know,
I
it's
think he's
funny.
gone.
It was, I think, right around the time when you offered a challenge. You challenged Ralph,
Cool.
our regular caller from New Jersey, to an on-air duel. And ever since you made that challenge, I don't believe Ralph has called in one single time, which is very unusual, very unlike Ralph. Normally, he is one of our, as we call them, chronic callers, like you, Ricky, who call every single night on the show. So when Ralph isn't there, it's pretty obvious that he's not there. And I think your observation is correct, Ricky. He has not called this show once, so we've never actually been able to issue your challenge to him. Maybe he was listening to the show and is too afraid to call in.
There go the mystery, whether Ralph listens or not. I guess he does.
Oh, I think Ralph is a listener. It's Sarah in New Mexico who's actually not a listener. She's just a chronic
Well, you don't
caller.
have any honor, Ian. That's what it comes down to. Remember, I told you you'd know. Even with the duel, if it would have went through, there would have been. It still would have ended up the same way.
Well, I got to tell you, Ricky, you're not right about a lot of things, but on this one, I think you may be right.
Okay, but on to this whole thing with this debate.
All right.
And I have to admit, speaking about honor, I mean, here's a couple comments I got. And I mean, I've made it clear. I mean, maybe we could talk more about in the future. I'm a Hillary supporter, but I'm looking at going into this. A month leading into it, the tactics by this guy. Speaking about honor, that duel, well, let's look about this debate. That's a duel too. And when it comes down to, as I've seen on several points, either A, I see things like, the moderator, he's not going to be treated fairly. That was one of the things, and you know what? He ain't going to talk about, infidelity with Bill as long as Hillary's fair. No, you can't be fair to Trump, because if you say anything to Trump that's either true or untrue, it's just not fair. And then there's been so many things leading up to this. Oh, the football. It's the football games, This goes back to September. Both the RNC and the DNC agreed, oh, it's Hillary's fault. She's the one doing it because she don't like football. And if it's not... And
I
one
am
thing
a little lost on what you're talking about, Ricky. What does the debate have to do with football?
The debate is happening on Monday.
Ask Donald Trump the same question, because he made that comment that she set the debates up to coincide with football games.
Okay, there's this thing called Monday Night Football that's been in existence for like 50 or almost 60 years.
Yep, and that's tonight.
That's tonight. Donald Trump is claiming that it's some conspiracy to, make Trump voters not watch the debate or something, because the debate is happening at the same time as a professional football game. But even though in years past the debates have been on Monday nights.
Yeah.
If you put it on a Tuesday night, there's a baseball game. If you put it on a Wednesday night, there's a baseball game. There's a professional sporting event every day of the year, except for the day before and the day after the Major League Baseball All-Star game.
And if you're one of the candidates, aren't the undecided voters who you want to be watching the debate? So why do you care if your voters watch football instead?
I think he just wanted to make noise about it, act like, or try to change the rules or whatever. And obviously he wasn't successful at doing that. Thanks, Ricky, for your call tonight. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE because it's Monday night and they're going to have the debate. And Trump decided to do it. So all of his protesting apparently was for naught. Let's continue with some of the drinking game rules because we got to get the rules out, I think, before the debate actually begins.
When either candidate calls the other a liar or accuses them of having lied, take a drink.
All right. That alone will get you pretty drunk.
Might get you drunk by itself.
Yep.
When Trump mentions Hillary's emails, building his wall, or Benghazi, take a drink. If Trump refers to, and this is the modifier, if Trump refers to Hillary as the worst Secretary of State in our nation's history, take a shot. If Hillary responds, name 3 secretaries of state in this nation's history, finish your bottle, because Trump won't be able to name 3.
Now, do they actually see? This is how unfamiliar I am with these debates. Like I said, I'm normally not interested at all in watching them because they just have Republicans and Democrats in them. Do they actually allow them to ask each other questions?
They don't necessarily allow them, but people will throw jibes at the other one.
Okay.
I mean, it's not really a debate in any recognizable sense of the term. There's not like points and counterpoints in a thing to argue in a topic to like.
There's a question usually.
There's a question.
X amount of seconds.
You get an amount of time to answer. Your opponent gets an amount of time to answer, and if
maybe
they
a rebuttal,
reference
right?
you can do a rebuttal.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean they just ask questions and then they kind of just talk about whatever they want. Anyway, I mean it's pretty disorganized. It's not even the rules they claim to follow or pretend to follow, I wouldn't categorize as a debate anyway, but
it's a show.
Yeah.
Yes. When Trump uses the word great, as in make America great, make great deals, or describes himself as great, take a drink. If he uses the word great twice in the same sentence, take shot. We already covered Rule 11. That's the Hillary coughing or passing out. When Trump mentions building a wall, or rather a building he has built, or his daughter, drink until the count of 5. So that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is because that's the number of biological children Donald Trump has.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
If Trump references Hillary's health, stamina, or energy, take a drink. If he flexes and kisses his bicep immediately after doing so, take a shot. Is
that something he's done?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
But it also said earlier if after he references his huge manhood, he pulls it out and swings it like a helicopter.
He's probably not done that one either.
Right.
Okay.
Well, Melania would know. But I don't think anybody else.
That's his wife.
When Trump uses the word disaster to refer to anything Hillary has done, take a drink.
All right.
95% of all Trump comments include the word great or disaster. This is scientific fact. 2 more rules.
Wait. What number are we on now?
That was 14. Okay. We've got
15
2 more
and 16.
rules.
Still to come here, and if you've got some rules you want to throw into the mix, feel free. 855-450-FREE. The drinking game will commence in about a half an hour. This is Free Talk Live. You can join us, take control of the airwaves.
In these uncertain times, it makes sense to have a sustainable backup method to cook food and boil water. If your current plan includes using a fuel-burning stove or cooking over an open fire, then there's a much better way. The Minuteman Rocket Stove is a biomass-burning cooking stove that only requires small quantities of sticks and twigs for fuel. The Minuteman Stove is easy to use, smokeless, portable, powerful, and sustainable. For the finest in survival cooking stoves and fire starters made right here in the USA, go to MinutemanStove.com. That's MinutemanStove.com.
How confident are you in your food storage? If it was all you had to rely on, would it sustain your family? Hard times, good times, or any time, NuManna Storable Food is the proven superior choice. Learn for yourself what happened when one man ate only NuManna Storable Food for an entire month. Online at PowerPrepper.com. That's PowerPrepper.com. Experience the NuManna difference.
American-made food stores I love to eat. Yum!
Money, power, and respect are all yours at creditsuccesssecretsrevealed.com. Be seen as an industry leader. You can do it. The last application you filled out when it was time to hit submit, did your nerves spike? You didn't get the approval you seek, but there's a better way. We teach you exactly what to place into the right systems the right way the first time so you get approved. Get up to $100,000 in instant business credit. Many people will get cash on the spot. Use those two tools in your new corporate credit engine so you can walk into the bank and get your project funded today. It's all about today at creditsuccesssecretsrevealed.com. Credit Success Secrets Revealed is explosive and ignites instant results. Dial 1-800-707-8719. That's 1-800-707-8719. 1-800-707-8719. Or just go to creditsuccesssecretsrevealed.com.
This is your Roberts & Roberts Brokerage Daily Precious Metals Update. In early trading Monday, gold is $1 lower at $1,342 per ounce, and silver is 4 cents lower at $19.69 per ounce. Bitcoin is currently trading at $602 US. Roberts & Roberts Brokerage have been helping clients buying and selling precious metals for nearly 40 years. To find out how we can help you, give us a call today at 800-874-9760 or visit us online at rrbi.co.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. You likely buy all kinds of things online. Amazon is the largest online retailer. You can get what you need at the same prices with free Super Saver shipping by going to shop.freetalklive.com. Please do your online shopping at shop.freetalklive.com.
Understanding your credit score is the first step towards managing and improving it. This is Charlie Sundstrom with your Van Dyke Mortgage Minute. The most influential component of your credit score is your payment history. Almost equally as important is the amount you owe on credit accounts. Also impacting your score, but to a lesser degree, are the length of time you've utilized your credit, the number of new accounts, credit inquiries, and your various types of credit accounts. To help achieve or maintain a healthy credit score, have a system set up to assure your bills are always paid on time. Don't max out your cards. It's better to have a high credit limit with a low balance. Never close old accounts. The age of these can actually help your credit score. But don't be afraid to use your credit. You need several accounts in order to have a credit score. Just keep the corresponding payments within your means. For your mortgage pre-approval and refi needs, start by visiting VanDykeMortgage.com.
Corporate NMLS 3035. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender. Charlie Sundstrom, NMLS 134251.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Tonight in the studio with you, it's Ian,
Melanie,
and Darryl.
As the debate is approaching, the least popular candidates for president in U.S. history will be debating tonight on the Hofstra University campus, at which I actually happened to visit this year. There was a talk radio conference that was held at the very same university, maybe in the very same room. I don't know where they're going to be holding this thing, but we were in some sort of auditorium there, so I'm not sure what to expect. They're going to have apparently not Jill Stein, who has been escorted off the campus. She was there in an attempt to just show herself at the debates, be there to meet some of her supporters. They were going to have a rally.
And she spoke with media.
Right. Before they found her, the cops found her and escorted her off of the campus. She, I presume, was given a no trespass warning and told not to return. And there has been talk from some of her supporters about some possible acts of peaceful, nonviolent civil disobedience that may occur on campus on her behalf. So not that she asked them to do it, but that some of her supporters may just decide to throw themselves into the gears of the state to make a point about how they would like to have their candidate, who is qualified on enough ballots to technically win the election, into the debates.
Yes, and the schedule of events that she had planned, according to the Green Party, At 4:30 p.m., buses of supporters were scheduled to arrive at Hofstra. At 5 p.m., there was going to be a Let Jill Debate demonstration. At 5:30, she was going to hold the People's Debate outside of the gates of Hofstra. And it said protest may continue until approximately 7 p.m. But at the beginning of the show, we had reported that she got escorted off of the campus about an hour prior.
Now, we don't know at what point or how much of her plans she had gotten through by the time the escort appeared.
Right. So we don't know if she was able to hold this People's Debate or not. And then at 9 o'clock, she will be doing a live insertion into the debates via Periscope and Facebook Live.
It's kind of a funny word to use, insertion. I mean, she's not going to be seen on any of the mainstream media that is covering this, so she won't be inserting
but
herself.
On her streams, she will be inserting her answers where the other candidates are. So, question, and then live response, here's her answers.
They're saying the same thing about Gary Johnson, who is the Libertarian Party presidential nominee, sadly. They, in the press release story here from the ABC News, they're saying that the campaign is hoping to, quote, interject his voice into the debate from the sidelines through an aggressive Twitter and media strategy. Now, again, he won't be interjecting his voice into the debate. He'll be on Twitter. And people who want to hear him, who are seeking him out, will be able to see what he has to say, like Jill Stein. People who are seeking her opinion on this will be able to hear what she thinks. But a lot of those people are already interested in Jill Stein and Gary Johnson.
Correct.
The whole benefit of being in the debates is you reach a bunch of people who otherwise have never heard of you.
Well,
I think there is a benefit of that, though, because I remember watching Bob Barr do this when I had just heard of libertarianism.
Oh, I'm not saying there aren't newbies. There are going to be some newbies that are going to tune into them, but there's a bunch of new people who don't even know who these people are.
It would be better to be in the debate,
Right.
but if you can't have that, I think there is value to that. People who are just barely LP and kind of your
LP
status.
is Libertarian Party.
Not only just people that might stumble across it, but some media outlet might watch it to try to find some sort of slip up.
No, I'm not saying
let's see where they say something stupid and let's pick that up and run with
I'm
it.
not saying it's a bad thing to do what they're doing. I'm just saying to use terms like they're going to inject themselves into the debate. No. If they'd actually showed up like Jill Stein did and physically tried to inject themselves, then that I would count that as an injection into the debate. But to just sit on Twitter and tweet your options is not really injecting into
lots
anything.
of people are going to be doing that tonight, exactly what Gary Johnson is doing.
Sitting on Twitter?
Tweeting their opinions about the debate.
So, I mean, it's like, here on Free Talk Live, we're on the radio. And because we're on the radio, people who don't know who we are can find us. If you're on the internet, you have to, at the very least, be kind of interested in finding libertarian talk in order to find Free Talk Live. Same thing's true with Johnson and Stein. You've got to be at the very least interested in, you've heard about third parties. You'd like to see what the third party people have to say, so you seek them out to find it, or maybe you run into it by accident on the Twitter site.
So it's possible that you could stumble across a Twitter post to where a friend of a friend retweeted something and then you see it. And
Yep, that's possible.
Oh, yeah, or if, somebody just goes on Facebook and tweets, this is a debate, and, somebody's like, I watch all the presidential debates, so they at least start watching that one. I mean,
If Johnson or Stein has more than 100,000 viewers on their Facebook feed, I'll be blown away. It's because Johnson had about 30,000 tonight on a pre-interview. There was some sort of
with
guy.
Reason, I think it was.
Yeah, I didn't know who it was. Somebody was interviewing them. It was on Gary Johnson's Facebook page or something like that, and they were streaming that to Facebook Live. And he had 30,000. He had 30,000 viewers. I mean, that's nothing compared to the expected 100 million that will be watching the debates tonight. Now, that's just an estimate, and I don't know where they're getting that number from. Maybe it'll only be 60 million or,
right, but at the same time, especially
Still
since
a lot
we kind of have to work with what we have, and pretending that, not pretending, but let's say if instead of Gary Johnson it was some libertarian, if you have that video, the Republicans and the Democrats, they already have their people. They're not necessarily trying to convert anybody with their debate. That's kind of more or less what we're trying to do.
Well, yeah, they are. The Republicans and Democrats are trying to convert the undecideds. There's always a big chunk of
right,
Americans
but they're not trying to get their name out there. Like, so we have different goals in that way. Like, people have heard of Republicans and Democrats.
That's correct.
People who know who Donald and Hillary are. We need to get to that point. So we kind of use, or what we would use the debates for is to, like, have people know who we are.
Yes.
So
then they can
we
actually
kind of have
consider.
different goals in that way. I mean, okay,
Absolutely.
yeah, so there might be some undecided people that they're trying to get into the ORD category, but people know that they exist. So if we're doing something that lets people know we
Libertarians
exist,
need to let people know they exist, and if they kept out of the debates, then they're not going to know that. So anyway, all I was really saying here, Melanie, is that to say they're injecting themselves into the debate is not really what they're doing.
that was like when I first heard that, I thought that she was planning on, like, rushing the stage or something, which I would believe from her.
Which would be awesome if she did that.
Yeah,
I mean,
which was believable, which is part of why I understood it that way.
Well,
but,
and back in the day, back in 2004, the Libertarian Party candidate, along with the Green Party candidate, were both arrested at one of these CPD debates. So it has happened that the Libertarian has been as ballsy as the Green Party candidate until Gary Johnson and Bob Barr, in which case...
Well, yeah, and I mean, I'm not even, like, doing Civ this while running for president. Like,
Do it.
Good.
Good.
Get him some news. If Gary Johnson went and smoked a joint in public and announced it in advance, because he's a supposedly cannabis user.
Oh, he said that
he would stay sober for this, though.
Yeah, he's staying sober through the rest of the campaign, and if he's elected, he'll stay sober for 4 years.
Which I think is a total mistake for him to. It's such a lame. Just a lame-o position for somebody to take, especially somebody who's experienced with cannabis. His position should have been, I've smoked cannabis my whole life, or however many years it was. I ran the state, was smoking cannabis that whole time, and whatever the truth is what he should have said. Anyway, let's go to Neil. He's in Golden Shores, Arizona, listening to K-Talks. Neil, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, buddy, I got the bratwurst on the grill, got the microwave popcorn in the oven, got the pony keg on ice. We're ready. Just got my garage full of about 45 people just waiting to watch Donald Trump obliterate her.
You got 45 people over?
Yep. They're out there in my garage. I came into the house so I could hear because they're all out there partying.
Wow. And do you think they're all for Trump?
And it's hard pressed to find anybody that's for Hillary.
Interesting.
I
well,
go
at least
everywhere.
for you.
I'm out here wearing my Make America Great Again ball cap that I bought, and everybody just gives me a high five, and they love it.
Have fun tonight, Neil.
find-
Thanks for your call, man. This is Free Talk Live. Join us here.
Today, how to incorporate your business in just 10 minutes so you won't lose everything if you get sued. Step 1, stop putting it off. If you're not incorporated and someone sues your business tomorrow, it's not just your business at risk. You can lose everything: your home, your car, even your life savings. Step 2, call the following number for a free 10-minute incorporation guide from Incorporate.com. 1-800-945-1063. They don't provide legal or financial advice. They just make incorporating quick and easy. So you can incorporate or form an LLC in just 10 minutes. That number again is 1-800-945-1063. Step 3, congratulate yourself. By taking just 10 minutes to incorporate your business or form an LLC, you protected your home, your car, and your life savings. And that is how you incorporate your business in just 10 minutes. But hurry while they're still giving away these 10-minute incorporation guides for free. Call 1-800-945-1063. That's 1-800-945-1063.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Investment Rarities, a 43-year-old company, has created the best silver offer ever. Get a U.S. Silver Eagle, Canadian Maple Leaf, Austrian Philharmonic, OPM Pure Bar, and Silver Round. Have all 5 for $99 postpaid. You heard me right, 5 ounces of silver below cost. No credit card fees, free shipping. Just $99 and you'll have a great start on what it takes to survive even the worst economic storm. Act now and receive Jim Cook's exclusive paper explaining how it's possible to make a fortune in silver today. Don't miss this opportunity. Call 800-328-1860. Read how the above-ground supply of silver has dropped below even gold. The secret is being suppressed. The price could explode at any time. Call today at 800-328-1860. Get 5 ounces of silver for only $99. Find them on the web at investmentrarities.com or call 800-328-1860. Call now before it's too late. 800-328-1860.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
For Bitcoin to be ubiquitous, people need to use it. For people to use it, they must have it. How can we get Bitcoin into more hands? Tipping. What if you could include a bonus Bitcoin tip along with your regular tip to a server? What if that Bitcoin tip returned to you if unclaimed after 30 days? An attractive business card Bitcoin tip that's easily claimed, gives instructions on wallets and spending, and returns to the tipper if unused. Tip.freetalklive.com. Tip.freetalklive.com.
You can connect with the Liberty Radio Network via our Facebook page at facebook.lrn.fm. That's facebook.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Dial in toll free. Join us on the radio waves. The number is 855-450-FREE. The debate is coming up here in the next hour. We will feature some of the audio from it for you, along with our commentary. With you tonight, it's Ian,
Melanie,
and Darryl.
We have Skype. You can join us there at Skype username lrn.fm. And also our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. It doesn't have to be about the debates. You can still call in about anything you want to discuss, although we do have two more on the list of 16, which is more like a list of 30 because each one of them has a modifier or whatever.
Modifiers of if this happens after this.
It's the drinking game. It is a fairly detailed drinking game. And you know what? It's not even really fair to say that it's even 16 or 30 because some of them have been like, if Trump says A, B, or C, which that's almost like three rules in one. So, I mean, if you really broke this down, it's probably like 50 different rules. It's way too much to keep track of. But as you said, Darryl, you could select the ones for your own house rules.
Right.
Tonight.
Or you could rip up 16 pieces of paper and write number 1 through 16, throw them in a hat, and everybody draws until there's no more numbers left in the hat, and each person has their own separate rules.
And then they just pay attention to that one thing, whether or not that's happened, and then it's like ding, ding, ding or something like that. Okay.
Rule number 15: when Hillary says Black Lives Matter, take a drink. When Trump responds, or if Trump responds by saying either all lives matter or blue lives matter, finish your drink and then demand that social media die. If Trump calls Hillary a B or a C, finish your drink and pass out.
If Trump uses the C word tonight, that would be worth a pretty serious drink.
And then also pray for the country.
Yeah, I mean, okay, first of all, don't play this game. But if you're going to play this game anyway, make sure you eat, a lot of really greasy food and some carbs, while you're drinking, preferably. If you can remember
to stop people
do
from
that.
dying, you're trying to harm reduction.
Yeah, and if you're doing beer, you're probably not going to die. But,
prevent alcohol poisoning.
Yeah, so, to prevent, either alcohol poisoning or dehydration or just a really bad hangover, so harm reduction. Ideally, don't do harm, but, harm reduction. Drink a lot of water. drink some vitamins when you not drink some vitamins. Take some vitamins when you wake up.
Well, you can drink vitamin water. And that's got vitamins, so you could
either
drink vitamins.
Gatorade or vitamin
Blondo.
water.
I suggest Blondo because it's got electrolytes, and that's what plants crave.
Now, aren't they bringing back that movie for a limited theatrical re-release?
Limited theatrical, and unfortunately nowhere near us.
It's
well, I mean, you could just watch it on the internet.
Mike Judge's Idiocracy, by the way, is that movie. We should probably say what we're talking about here. Great film.
Welcome to Costco.
Probably has
I
a
love you.
lot more true than they necessarily really thought were going to happen.
Yeah, and Mike Judge actually said that he never intended for his movie to actually become a documentary.
So let's see. Where are we at here? Are we done with the list? Or
We're done with the list.
Okay, all right. So there you have it, the drinking game. Did you post that on our Facebook and Twitter?
I did.
All right, so if you want to see the full list, it's there on the Free Talk Live Facebook.
I mean, we
or
do
Twitter.
know that, like, you can, if you just want to get drunk, like, you can do that without watching the debate.
That's
I mean, neither one of those things are really a great idea, but, like, if for some reason in your life
But
you just have to get
sometimes you need
drunk
a
right
reason
now,
to drink. I mean,
no, you don't.
On a Monday. No, people need a reason to drink on a Monday.
You could just not tell anybody about it. Like, you don't have to watch
when you
the
are
debates.
hiding it,
Like,
that's when you're an alcoholic.
That's a good point.
yeah, you probably shouldn't take drinking advice from me, actually. But,
'Cause you
like,
were an
why would you
alcoholic.
watch the debate? Like, why would you do that to yourself?
So, well, you're going to be in here for some of it. We're going to put a little bit of it on the air
so
here.
don't take that advice, but water, vitamins,
Well, Donald Trump says he's never had a drink in his life.
Okay, Gatorade or vitamin water.
Do you
and,
believe him?
Vitamins.
It's hard to believe that. It really is hard to believe that. I mean, given the fact that this guy goes to all kinds of parties, he's hobnobbing around with a bunch of rich people who are notorious for their drug use. I mean, the idea that this guy's never drank or done any drugs.
Wait, was his exact phrasing, I've never had a drink? Because that might just mean he's never had only one at a time.
That would be a political thing to say. Like, a politician would totally do something like
I don't
that.
think I've ever had a drink, but, like, that does not mean...
Honestly, I don't know what exactly he has said. I've just read that he has never had a drink, so I don't know.
And who was the comedian that used to always say, I'm not drinking anymore. Not drinking any less either.
I don't know. I bet you could Google it, though. So there is one more thing I wanted to point out about where the third-party candidates are tonight. We already know that Green Party candidate Jill Stein, who's really turned into the most interesting candidate, I think, the most interesting third-party candidate in the
most
election.
interesting that's actually on the general election ballot.
Right, because I don't know who most of the rest of them are. But Stein already with a warrant for her arrest for spray painting a bulldozer out in the protests that were happening in North Dakota for the pipeline.
Which is actually acceptable to us because that bulldozer was aggressing.
Exactly.
So
the bulldozer, even though
you
it was...
can then use defensive force on it.
Yep, I totally agree with you. I mean, look, even though it was technically private property, it was being used in the commission of an act that was established by the state. So it was it was private property at the state's bidding, and so therefore, as far as I'm concerned, it's state property.
Well,
and
even if it was
screw
a private organization, like if someone comes at you with a gun and you knock the gun out of their hand, they can't then be like, you're aggressive against me because you damaged my gun. Like, no, they were using the bulldozer at that specific moment to trespass and destroy property. Therefore, it's a private. Even I don't care if it's private or not. You can therefore now do whatever you want to that bulldozer.
And the part that she spray painted would wind up cleaning itself as the bulldozer was being used because it was that dozing part of the bulldozer.
Yeah, exactly. Toll-free number tonight, should you wish to join us, 855-450-FREE. But the Gary Johnson campaign staff, specifically their spokesperson, the communications director, Joe Hunter, told ABC News in a statement this, quote, Governors Johnson and Weld will be making themselves available to the media, watching the debate with great interest, and will be anxious to point out how a third voice representing millions of independent voters disenfranchised by the Republican and Democrat parties would better serve the American people. And had he closed his mouth at that point and that had been the full statement, then there really wouldn't be much to argue with. However, he went on to add, quote, they will be respectful and not interested in any grandstanding for the cameras or inappropriate protests. Now, that is a clear shot at Green Party candidate Jill Stein.
Yes.
Clear shot, because she had announced in advance that she was going to be taking part with her fans, her followers, in a protest outside of Hofstra University, which is where the event, the debate is actually taking place.
And I mean, like, how messed up is this that, like, among all the people that there are, I'm siding with the communist. I think she self-identifies that way. If she's not a communist, she's some of the more socialist,
green on the outside, red on the inside
form of statism.
She's a Massachusetts
but she's like
liberal.
the most respectable person here. Yeah. I mean, that in and of itself, I'm an anarchist. I should not be siding the most with the communists.
That's how it's come down.
She's actually presenting, she is advocating a lot of, like,
terrible ideas.
I just
murder, kidnapping, and thefts, but
the only presidential ticket of the big four that does not have a Massachusetts liberal on it is the Republican ticket.
Wow. Yeah, okay. Who's the Massachusetts one on Hillary's?
Oh, wait. She's not. She's new. Okay, so they all have a northeastern liberal.
Okay. Where's Kane from?
He's Virginia.
Is that the Northeast?
No.
Oh,
Hillary lives in New York.
Right.
Trump lives in New York.
I keep thinking Arkansas for Hillary for whatever reason.
No, remember she carpetbagged to wind up being in the Senate.
Right. But was she originally from Arkansas, or was she from New York way back in the day?
No, I think she's originally from Arkansas.
Okay. Well, she's not a native New Englander or anything like that.
Right, but she lives
neither are
in
any of us. I think what state you choose to live in
the Northeast
matters more than where
Stein,
you were born.
however, is a Massachusetts liberal. That's who she is.
So as well.
Right. That's true.
And that's who's behaving in the most dignified way at this point in time.
Jill Stein, not Bill Weld, just to be clear.
No,
You're saying
Jill Stein,
Jill Stein. Yeah, and so, you got the Weld-Johnson campaign attacking Stein because she's got the courage to actually go to this debate, to physically go to this location, risking arrest, her own personal well-being, to stand up for what she believes in. Now, we don't necessarily agree with what she believes in. We're probably with her on the drug war, and that's probably about it. Maybe peace.
And
she's probably
wars.
more peace. Yeah, she's probably more peace-oriented.
International foreign policy.
So we're with her on a couple of issues, but kudos to Jill Stein for going down there.
She has the biggest huevos of all of them.
Is she
sure
better
does.
on the drug war than Gary? I think she might be.
That's a good question.
Because Gary just said weed and was shady about everything else.
He backs away from actually saying end prohibition entirely. He won't do that, even though he'll talk against prohibition generally. Hour 3's coming up. You can join us here. The debate is on the way on Free Talk Live.
For Bitcoin to be ubiquitous, people need to use it. For people to use it, they must have it. How can we get Bitcoin into more hands? Well, tipping might be a great way. What if you could include a bonus Bitcoin tip along with your regular tip to a server? What if that Bitcoin returned to you if unclaimed after 30 days? An attractive business card-sized Bitcoin tip that is easily claimed, gives instructions on wallets, spending, and returns to the user if unused? Tip.freetalklive.com. Tip.freetalklive.com.
You've said it yourself. We need a healthcare system that focuses on health, not sickness. Health insurance pays for treating sickness but gives you nothing for being healthy. There's a free market healthcare company that gives you freedom from health insurance. They give you a proactive health assessment daily, no charge 24-hour access to doctors. Check them out right now at healthexcellenceselect.com. Any kind of doctor, traditional, integrative, chiropractic, acupuncture, and massage. You'll love the service and price. healthexcellenceselect.com. healthexcellenceselect.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io. Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that tenth of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, September 26th, 2016. Silver is trading at $19.49 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,338 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $608. Antiwar.com reports Saudi airstrikes over the weekend targeting the Yemeni city of Ib, a city controlled. Strikes were reported against several areas of the city, and there were no reports of any combatants among the slain. In addition to the deaths, the local hospital reported another 9 civilians wounded who had been discharged from the hospital. Ib is on the hugely important N1 highway, which connects the capital city of Sana'a, under the control of the Houthis, with the southern port of Aden, which is the de facto capital of the pro-Saudi half of the country. Ib is just north of Taiz, a city long contested between the two factions. Since all the fighting is south in Taiz, there is very little in the way of Houthi forces inside Ib, with many locals complaining that the Saudi attacks are unjustified with no military and little government presence to be targeted. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. UPI reports 3 people were killed after 2 single-engine planes collided in the skies near Buffalo, New York on Sunday morning, according to officials. A man from Hamburg, New York, and a couple from nearby Eden, New York, were the only 3 people on the 2 planes, a Cessna and a Piper Cherokee, that are both single-engine, single-propeller planes. Officials from the Erie County Sheriff's Office said at a media briefing that the small aircrafts collided shortly before 9:30 a.m., leaving a small debris field over 1/4 to 1/2 mile section. 6 planes took off together around 9 a.m. from Hamburg Airport, according to Larry Walsh, the airport's vice president. Walsh said they were planning to go to breakfast in St. Mary's, Pennsylvania, and plan to return later in the day. Karen Ricotta, a North Collinstown justice, told the newspaper, "When I looked outside, you could see something next door on a mowed farm field. I couldn't identify what it was." She added, "But when I went outside, another man driving by pulled in my yard and told me it was a plane in the field." Town Supervisor John M. Tobia said one of the crashed planes landed in a field and the other between a metal storage building and a wooded area. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports Tommy Smith and John Carlos, the 2 African-American athletes sent home from the 1968 Olympic Games for their raised fist protest on the medal podium, will receive a long-awaited moment of redemption at a U.S. team event at the White House this week. Carlos told Reuters on Sunday the 2 were invited by the U.S. Olympic Committee to attend a gala dinner on Wednesday in Washington, D.C., honoring the 2016 Olympic team and accompanying the team to meet President Barack Obama at the White House the following day. The image of Smith and Carlos, gold and bronze medalists in the 200-meter track event in Mexico City, thrusting their black gloved fist into the air, has become an enduring symbol of the fight for racial equality. Their example has surfaced repeatedly in the past weeks as an inspiration to NFL and college football players protesting racial injustice after the fatal shooting of several men by police. Smith and Carlos paid a high price for their protest, not only in the Olympic Committee, but also in the court of public opinion. Standing in black socks, the 2 Americans bowed their heads and pushed their fists into the air as the U.S. anthem played, shocking the world and many Americans reeling from a turbulent year in the fight for civil rights. They were suspended from the U.S. Olympic team and sent back to the United States. Carlos said he did not expect or want an explicit apology from the Olympic Committee for sending him and Smith home because their actions were in clear violation of the policy. He said, however, that over time and as their raised fist salute has become a precedent of sorts, U.S. Olympic officials have a better understanding of the reason behind their protest. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Shortly after members of the New York Police Department found a super sharp Buck brand pocket knife earlier this morning, Lieutenant Joseph Mattioli spoke to Onion reporters at the scene of the discovery to update the public on this potentially deadly blade.
At 8:40 a.m., police discovered what seems to be a pretty badass buck knife. Investigators believe it to be basically the deadliest knife ever.
Mattioli confirmed that the pretty cool wood-handled knife has a clean edge and added that the blade must be, quote, at least like 8 inches long.
At this time, we'd like everyone to be aware that there's probably a man out there with an eye patch and scars all over his face that has access to these knives, or maybe even a samurai sword. We urge people to be careful when approaching him because he may flip out and chop both your arms off before you even realize it.
Following the announcement, Mattioli asked people to come forward if they had any information about the owner of the knife or if they just wanted to hold it for a couple of seconds. For more on this story, check this week's Onion Review.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. Dial toll free to join us here. You can share your thoughts on whatever you want. Obviously, a lot of people are talking about the debates. Many people are pouring vigorously right now because the candidates just took the stage. I was watching the CNN and the NPR feeds. We're going to air a portion of the debate tonight and also our live commentary that will go along with it, because there needs to be a libertarian voice in these debates. Gary Johnson's not going to be there, so we're going to do it here on Free Talk Live tonight. With you in the studio, you've got Ian,
Melanie,
and Darryl.
But first, to your phone call and thoughts, or your phone calls if you got them here. Rob does in Phoenix, Arizona. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Rob. Hello.
Oh, that's my middle name.
Okay,
hey,
Rob.
Melanie.
Hey.
It's my middle name. I noticed you still blocking me on Skype.
Actually, no, I unblocked you on Skype.
Really?
Yep.
Then try it again. Just like you might want to try again checking out my police record that you totally misrepresented it because you're
so
not
what were
really
you calling about tonight? Are you going to keep rehashing the same old
you're
crap?
You're not going to apologize for smearing me?
Are you going to keep rehashing the same old crap?
Let me put it this way.
Because it looked like you lied to... Now you lied again. You lied to our call screener. You said you wanted to talk about the debates, and now you're talking about the same old boring crap you've always called about.
Listening an apology from a so-called minister that has smeared me and defamed me brutally and got his rocks off doing it. Just like another minister said I wanted to commit genocide against all Muslims, which is a sick and despicable thing to say. I don't feel that way, and I would despise anybody that does, and in fact, they'd be my enemy.
Thanks for the call. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. You know, I'd rather listen to Trump and Hillary than listen to that guy.
I'd rather have my eardrums removed.
Toll-free number, if you want to join us here, 855-450-FREE. Says he's not a liar, but he lied to get on the phone screening board with a completely different topic than he was going to talk about. And that's fine. You know, you don't have to tell the truth. We're not going to screen your calls out here on Free Talk Live. I don't do that. So, you know, that guy could call under his real name, James in Arizona, if he wanted to, and I wouldn't keep him off. Anyway, toll-free number 855-450-FREE. We went through the debate drinking game rules. If you are just tuning in and you missed those, Darryl did post them to our Facebook and Twitter, so you can go there and you can get the drinking game and get started, because the debate, so-called, of course you pointed out, Melanie, this isn't really a debate.
This is not a debate. You don't have people having drinking games and having parties and having 40 people in their backyard and barbecues and getting drunk at debates. This is at best a forum. It's really just chaos.
It's a showcase for these people.
Even if it was what it claims to be, it will be a forum. This is not a debate. A debate is, you when you go to a debate, you have a topic, and then people have opposing positions on the topic, and if you've watched any philosophical debates, you already know what I'm talking about, so that doesn't help. But okay, like Tom Woods often has debates. Nobody says, "Oh, I'm gonna go. This is the 16 rules for drinking games for like the Tom Woods show." No, because Tom Woods has actual debates.
The next time Tom Woods has a debate, I'm making drinking rules.
Okay, Darryl will be the only one to do that. But it's not a thing. You don't nobody's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to this philosophical topic." and get drunk. Because if you want to be there, you're there to watch it, and if you don't want to be there, then you're probably not there. I mean, you have a topic, you have two opposing sides, you have points and counterpoints. Like, that's not what this is. There's not even a topic. I mean, it
there are
could be a
topics.
forum.
There are,
but
Saturday Night Live needs to bring back point counterpoint.
Isn't that's an older one, right?
That was very old,
like in the 70s or something.
70s. Who was it? Was it Bill Murray?
I don't know. It's before my time. Let's get into some of this here. There are topics, Melanie. The topic on the floor right now at this so-called debate is, why are you a better choice to create jobs that will put more money in workers' pockets?
Okay, there's topics, but there's not a topic that you have a position on. And even that...
No, they do have positions. Donald's position is, I'm not Hillary, I'm great. And Hillary's position is, I'm not Donald, I'm a woman.
All right, here's what they're actually saying.
Very much forward to doing it. We have to renegotiate our trade deals, and we have to stop these countries from stealing our companies and our jobs.
Okay, well, wait a minute, Donald. There's no stealing going on here. The reason why jobs have been leaving the United States for decades is because of government regulations. It's because the government, the very organization that you purport to want to be in charge of, has all manner of different business regulations that basically make business owners say, screw this, I'm out of here. Where can I go and manufacture things for less?
Apple, that's manufacturing their iPhones somewhere else, but Donald Trump wants to force them to manufacture their iPhones in the United States. He's said it before.
Which, of course, is going to drive up the cost. I mean, already the iPhone is, what, a $700 device, brand new?
Yes.
I mean, these are not cheap devices.
Yeah, I paid $750 for it last year, but
and
most
it was
of that cost
manufactured
is not coming from the employees in China. I mean, most of that's markup.
Well, I understand that, but what I'm saying is, if they manufacture them in the United States, there's going to be even higher cost because you are going to have to pay union workers.
With things with lower margins, that's true. But or you could just have a factory in a state that doesn't have unions. But I mean, there are lots of reasons why protectionism is bad, but for high-end products, I don't think that's one of them.
Well, I don't know what the markup is on the iPhone. I don't know how much they're, at the iPhone store. Are they making $100 on each one, or is it more than that? I mean, it's hard to really
but they're
say.
not paying the factory worker in China $600 per iPhone.
I never said that they were. There's different levels of markups.
There's a lot of room in there. I mean, for a high-end
You don't think they would increase the
the
price? You don't think that if it was manufactured in the United States under all the regulations and, the various different unions and such, that they wouldn't increase the price of the iPhone? You think they just cut their profits?
No, if any, not by much, because there's a certain price at which you can, if you raise it too much, you're going to quit being able to sell them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, Androids are already a seventh or something like that cheaper. And I feel like there's a difference, but everybody doesn't. And yeah, for something with that kind of markup, the market's only going to handle a certain
You don't really
price.
know what the markup is.
Here's the thing. There's a lot of different companies that are manufacturing phones that run Android. So
that's right.
There's competition in that marketplace. There's only one company that produces an iPhone using iOS.
Right,
so
and I
there's
understand
no
that, but
competition in the iOS market.
But if they raise the price of the iPhone to $1,200, people
there would
aren't
be
going
people
to buy
buying
them.
it.
But
Yes,
it would
they would,
not be anywhere. Yeah, I'm sure there's some people that buy it, but it would not be the market that they have right now. The market's only going to tolerate.
Why
a
did you
certain
buy
price
yours
level.
at $750?
Because it was the best phone that I thought because it was what I thought for me would be the best phone.
But couldn't you have bought an older iPhone for less?
Not by much.
No, really? Okay, but there is competition in the phone market.
And I have weird paranoia about electronics. I'm like terrified that I'm going to buy something old and there's going to be something on it, and
While there are no,
going to raid my house, but
while there are no other manufacturers,
anyway.
while there are no other manufacturers of the iPhone, there are a bunch of other phones in the marketplace, and all of that competition does tend to drive price down. So I don't know if there's as much of a markup as you believe that there is on the iPhone. Just because the price is high doesn't necessarily mean that there's a large markup. If you take other electronics like, let's say, the Sony PlayStation or the Xbox, there's usually very, very little, if any, money that those companies make off of those things because they're selling licensed games and they're making money off of selling the games.
Brian Sovereign has been pointing out recently on his podcast, Sovereign Tech, that one of the reasons some of the electronics are so cheap or affordable is because of all of the bloatware that winds up getting added on. So you've got these companies that will pay the phone company, hey, we'll give you this much per phone.
Like that damn NFL app. I want nothing to do with that thing. You probably like it, but
I don't have that app.
Okay, it costs Apple $200 to manufacture an iPhone 6.
Is that what you're using right now?
I think I might have the 5.
This is Free Talk Live.
Every once in a while, you get information that's worth changing your life for. This is one such time. You can save up to and beyond 25% on all purchases at Amazon. You probably heard of Bitcoin and just not thought much about it. You certainly know that you can get competitive pricing at Amazon, but now you can get a 25% discount on nearly everything you need to live. I've just given you a huge raise, and all you have to do is claim it. You go to saveitpurse.com and open an account. Do this right now. Don't wait. Then you fund the account with Bitcoin. You can buy them through expresscoin.com with a check or money order. There are other ways to get Bitcoin, but that's fast, safe, and easy. This information is worth you changing the way you do things. Go to saveitpurse.com right now, get signed up, and cash in on the huge raise I'm offering you. 15 to 25% off of everything at Amazon through saveitpurse.com. It's saveatpurse.com.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Investment Rarities, a 43-year-old company, has created the best silver offer ever. Get a U.S. Silver Eagle, Canadian Maple Leaf, Austrian Philharmonic, OPM Pure Bar, and Silver Round. Have all 5 for $99 post-paid. You heard me right, 5 ounces of silver below cost. No credit card fees, free shipping. Just $99 and you'll have a great start on what it takes to survive even the worst economic storm. Act now and receive Jim Cook's exclusive paper explaining how it's possible to make a fortune in silver today. Don't miss this opportunity. Call 800-328-1860. Read how the above-ground supply of silver has dropped below even gold. The secret is being suppressed. The price could explode at any time. Call today at 800-328-1860. Get 5 ounces of silver for only $99. Find them on the web at investmentrarities.com or call 800-328-1860. Call now before it's too late. 800-328-1860.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends radio show. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgoristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agorist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers, and some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agorist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any tomfoolery. So go with AgoristHosting.com. And if you want to get your foot in the door with decentralized marketplaces, Agorist Hosting is now offering open bazaar hosting. Go to agoristhosting.com, click on the button that says Get Hosted. Agorist Hosting, that's AGORIST, hosting.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
There's no better app for tracking the value of cryptocurrencies than CoinCap. I've had a lot of apps for tracking Bitcoin, but none that's ever been able to track 500 digital assets at once. Their best feature is the Altfolio. I love this thing. You enter how many Bitcoins, Ether, Dash, Doge, or whatever else you have, and it tells you how much your crypto is worth. You can watch yourself get rich. If you have crypto, go right now to coincap.io, or you can use the Apple Store or Google Play to get the app. I love CoinCap. coincap.io.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Dial toll-free. Bring up anything you want to discuss. Even during these debates, so-called debates, between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, they're on the stage right now. It's supposed to last about an hour and a half. We're going to sample some more of the audio here and provide a commentary track. We were talking about regulations. Donald Trump is a populist. He appeals to the idea that America is an exceptional place and that manufacturing should be forced to happen here in the United States, which, of course, is an anti-free market position. Now, I don't know what Hillary's viewpoint is on that either. It's probably just as bad, if not worse. But protectionism is what the government is all about, protecting their buddies at the cost of the people who are their enemies in business.
I believe Hillary was for NAFTA before she was against it.
So we're going to get back into that, but also one of the other things that has been screwed up in this country is health care. And in the United States, we need a health care system that focuses on health, not sickness. Now, sure, health insurance can pay for treating sickness, but it gives you nothing for being healthy. And doesn't that incentivize illness instead of health? Well, there's a free market healthcare company that can give you freedom from health insurance. It's called healthexcellenceselect.com. They give you a proactive health assessment daily and no charge 24-hour access to doctors. HIPAA, another government program, has messed up medical records so much that one doctor doesn't even know what the others are doing. How about a medical information card you can give to EMS, first responders, the emergency room, or whatever medical professional you want? Check them out right now at healthexcellenceselect.com. Any kind of doctor, traditional, integrative, chiropractic, acupuncture, and massage. You'll love the service and price. healthexcellenceselect.com. That's healthexcellenceselect.com. We were talking about government regulations. That led to talking about cell phones. Melanie, you say that the markup is tremendous on the iPhone. I don't know if it's as large as you think it is. Yes, you cited $200 as what the ostensible manufacturing costs are, but that doesn't include advertising costs, the costs of, marketing this thing, what they have to pay the salesmen in the stores. So there are other costs.
Whatever their overhead is because they have their own stores.
Correct. So there are other costs involved in getting that thing to market, and they still have to price it as competitively as they can. I mean, you do have like the Samsung phones, the Motorola phones, other brands that are being manufactured with Android operating systems, and many of those phones are several $100s when they come out brand new as well, $600 or $500 or $600.
There's $200 or $300. Well,
no, $600, $500. Yeah, look at these brand new phones. Yes,
there
absolutely.
Are some Android phones that will cost you $500 or $600. Now, what a lot of people will do is they'll sign up for this thing to where they're not paying anything or very much out of pocket, and they're basically paying rent on their phone bill.
Well, can't Android you buy, like, if you just sign it to your contract or something, you can get an Android or at least a very reduced Android?
Doesn't right, that's because I don't have a contract. Okay. I've never had a contract for a cell phone.
But yes, you can.
Because you can't with iPhone.
Well, that's... Okay, well, talk to the cell phone companies.
No, but I'm saying that
but a lot of the cell phone companies have. It's my understanding cell phone companies will do that with iPhone, but I'll have to double check that. I'm pretty sure that the iPhone is included.
You can do buying the thing where you buy it on time, but you can't say, "Oh, I'll sign a 2-year contract and get like a $200 iPhone." Like that. That's not going to happen.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I've seen that happening, but I'll have to double check it. And the reason why they do that is because the cell phone company buys the phones in bulk. They get a special price, and then they give you the phone, and then you pay for the phone in the inflated cost of the cell phone monthly plan. So they know that if you're going to be with them for 2 years, you're going to be spending X per month, and they build the cost of the phone into that. So if they didn't do that with iPhone, I'd be surprised.
I just did a search for iPhone with contract, and Google has all the shopping stuff up top. Verizon Wireless has something, iPhone 7 Plus.
That's brand new iPhone.
Brand new iPhone, advertised for $40 per month.
Yeah, so you're wrong about that,
so
Melanie.
you can buy it on time. Yeah, so $40 per month. Yeah, you can buy it on time, but they're not going to give it to you for, $100 or $200.
Right, you are not handing them $100 or $200
Most
when you
of the
go
time,
to the Verizon store.
Right, most of the time you get
but you're buying it on time. It's still an expensive phone.
Yes, and you can do that with Androids as well.
Yeah, I understand that, but there's a lot of plans where you can get phones that are not iPhones. I think Androids are one of them. If you sign a 2-year contract for just the service, they will give you either a free or reduced price to $100 or $200 smartphone.
Right. Yeah, I mean, what you're saying is they don't do that with iPhone. I feel like they do, but anyway, let's just move on. We're not going to agree on this without doing more research to find out what the truth is.
Because we're kind of talking past one another.
Yep. Well, I understand what she's saying, but I think she's wrong about that. So I'm not talking past Melanie. I completely understand what she's saying. She's saying the business model they have for Android phones, as far as building in the price into the cost of the service, is not something they do with iPhones. I don't think that's true.
No, you can add $40 a month to your phone bill.
By a lot.
You can add $40 a month to your phone bill.
Right,
and
she's saying
you
the Android
give
phones.
Verizon a dime when you pick up the phone.
She's saying the Android phones, you don't add anything to the phone.
Oh, yeah, you don't have to pay the cost up front, but they're still charging you for the phone when you do it like that.
Right,
yes.
And there are Androids where they will do that as well, to where you don't pay up front, they add it to your phone bill.
I'm not disagreeing with that at all.
Then why are we arguing?
Yeah, they're doing the same thing here. I'm looking at Verizon Wireless. They're adding in, for the Galaxy S7, which is an Android phone, $28 a month. So they've got the same exact plan for the Android phones. I think you are mistaken on this one, Melanie. Let's go on here. This is the audio from the debate, courtesy of CNN. Right now, the question apparently... Trump just claimed he's going to cut taxes big league.
Create tremendous jobs. They're going to expand their companies. They're going to do a tremendous job. I'm getting rid of the carried interest provision. And if you really look, it's not a tax. It's really not a great thing for the wealthy. It's a great thing for middle class. It's a great thing for companies to expand.
Hold on. He just said great 3 times in one sentence.
Drinks,
How many drinks do we have? Because if he says it twice in the sentence, you take a shot.
Back from
I mean, we're only a half hour into this debate.
Because politicians like Secretary Clinton won't allow them to bring the money back because the taxes are so onerous and the bureaucratic red tape. So what is so bad? So what they're doing is they're leaving our country, and they're, believe it or not, leaving because taxes are too high and because some of them have lots of money outside of our country. And instead of bringing it back and putting the money to work because they can't work out a deal to and everybody agrees it should be brought back. Instead of that, they're leaving our country to get their money because they can't bring their money back into our country because of
So don't the conservatives say if you don't like the way things are here, leave?
Mm-hmm.
And now he's bitching about people leaving.
And then they leave and they complain about that too.
Well, he's right about the reason.
Unusual.
He's right about the reason, which is what we were just talking about. The red tape,
but he's
the
mad
regulations.
that they're leaving. They should not be allowed to leave if they don't like things.
And with a little leadership, you'd get it in here very quickly, and it could be put to use on the inner cities and lots of other things, and it would be beautiful. But we have no leadership. And honestly, that starts with Secretary Clinton.
All right, you have 2 minutes.
It starts with the Secretary of State.
Yes.
All right, so more from the debate, more commentary here. If you want to join us, you can. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
Worried about lead, fluoride, and other contaminants in your drinking water? Get a ProPure with the Pro 1G 2.0 cleanable reusable filter and remove up to 200 contaminants. Drink water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure products, including the new ProMax shower filter. There's a ProPure for you. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer for details or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
Are the answers to your present and future hidden in your past? Akashic readings help you learn to unlock the answers for love, finances, weight loss, self-esteem, confusion, grief and loss, and more. Akashic email readings by Dr. Kelly Maroon, PhD, are specially priced right now. Learn more at Dr. Kelly Maroon's website, AkashicUniversal.com, spelled AKASHIC Universal.com. Change your life today. Become one with your true path with intention on purpose. Visit AkashicUniversal.com.
Hi, folks. In a world of GMO, genetically modified organisms, that is, chemicals, processed foods, and a healthcare system that's unraveling like a cheap suit, it's time to prepare. God created herbs, and herbs help man. Our body can heal itself, just sometimes we need assistance. You need some help? GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Our mild detox is quite powerful with its unique blend of 8 different herbs. And if you're looking for more, our non-GMO supplements will help you with different needs you might have. Health should be a top priority. Take care of your health naturally. Log on to GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Give your body a treat. Let the herbs do their thing naturally. Read all the testimonies on the website, GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Sickness and viruses are like intruders, and herbs are like warriors. Let the tea work for you. That's GetTheTea.com.
On the second Saturday of every month, the Texas Republic Congress meets in a joint session. To learn how you can attend or become a member of Congress, visit thetexasrepublic.com. And together, we can liberate Texas.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free, at apps.lrn.fm.
The victims of a devastating tornado expressed gratitude that The Onion's 3-part series on the disaster was reported with fairness, accuracy, and an unusual degree of sensitivity. Survivors said they were at least thankful for one thing, that The Onion put much more care and insight into their reporting of the tragedy than any competing newspaper, by far. In economic news, a Pulitzer Prize would very much help certain newspapers increase their circulation, resulting in greater ad sales and more revenue to pay their tireless, hardworking reporters, all of whom have families at home to care for. In other headlines, a group known as Americans for Fairness in Awarding Journalism Prizes is asking all Americans to help The Onion receive a Pulitzer Prize. An anonymous man says he will murder 50 innocent people if The Onion is not awarded a Pulitzer. And look at it, it's beautiful. Look, just give us a Pulitzer already, okay? This is humiliating. For more prize-worthy stories and videos, go to theonion.com/review.
This is the Onion News Network.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You can join us here on the radio. You don't have to talk about the debate, but that's what a lot of people are discussing here tonight, as it is about a half hour going here on CNN, NPR, various different places. I guess they have like a feed that different companies can pick up, so anybody can air this particular content. With you tonight in studio, it's Ian,
Melanie,
and Darryl.
We are having our own debate in the studio over cell phone plans. And we're going to get back into Trump and Clinton as...
who has, of Trump and Clinton, who has the better cell phone plan?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't think they're going to be asked that,
Does Hillary's cell phone plan include unlimited email?
I don't know. I bet she's never even looked. I bet Hillary has never even had to think about her cell phone plan. Probably has never even paid the bill for her cell phone plan. It's likely
But she has paid attention to email.
This is true. Let's go back to the audio feed as we continue to give you some commentary track to the discussion they're having. Let's go back to CNN.
Says you don't release your returns until the audit's complete. When the audit's complete, I'll do it. But I would go against them if she releases her email.
So it's negotiable?
It's not negotiable. No, let her release the email. Why did she delete 33,000?
Well, I'll let her ask that.
Wasn't the email thing in the drinking game?
Yes.
An agreement. We did ask you to be silent, so it would be helpful for us, Secretary Clinton.
Well, I think you've just seen another example of bait and switch here. For 40 years, everyone running for president has released their tax returns. You can go and see nearly, I think, 39, 40 years of our tax returns, but everyone has done it. We know the IRS has made clear there is no prohibition on releasing it when you're under audit. So you've got to ask yourself, why won't he release his tax returns? And I think there may be a couple of reasons. First,
I spent a lot of time telling people not to divulge evidence on an ongoing investigation. If you're being audited by the IRS, do not release your tax returns to anyone who is not your attorney.
Good advice.
We have been told through investigative reporting that he owes about $650 million to Wall Street and foreign banks. Or maybe he doesn't want the American people, all of you watching tonight, to know that he's paid nothing in federal taxes, because the only years that anybody's ever seen.
She's looking right into the camera, by the way, when she's delivering this.
To state authorities when he was trying to get a casino license, and they showed he didn't pay any federal income tax. So
that makes
if
me
he's
smart.
paid zero, that means zero for troops, zero for vets,
good for him on that one.
Or health.
He's paying for it in other ways, though, to the feds. I guarantee that.
Having the rest of our country see what the real reasons are, because it must be something really important, even terrible, that he's trying to hide. And the financial disclosure statement, they don't give you the tax rate.
Should it be more terrible than whatever it is that Clinton has been hiding?
And him, I don't like defending either one of them, but Trump pays more in matching income taxes for his W-2 employees than I will ever see in my entire life.
Yeah, that's
he
true.
pays federal taxes, whether or not it's 1040 federal income taxes. I don't know.
No,
but
Donald Trump's corporations pay taxes.
Well, right,
Donald
but if
Trump,
he owns them,
the person.
Okay,
and
but
that's where it's coming down.
He's still being seriously robbed by the feds. So,
right.
like,
I'm just saying, it's one of those things to where, yes, Donald Trump can say, I pay a lot of tax because, this, that, the other thing, where it's coming from his businesses, but yet Donald Trump, the person, might not have actually had any federal...
And if the only income he has is from businesses that he's not personally managing, then he probably doesn't. If that's the only thing he has, then he probably does not pay federal 1040 income taxes, but he pays tons and tons of federal taxes.
Right.
I'm sure.
Just saying it's one of those things to where both of them could say polar opposite statements, and they're both true.
When you have the man that set up the illegal server taking the fifth, I think it's disgraceful. And believe me, this country thinks it's disgraceful. It really thinks it's disgraceful also. As far as my tax returns, you don't learn that much from tax returns, that I can tell you. You learn a lot from financial disclosure. And you should go down and take a look at that. The other thing, I'm extremely underleveraged. The report that said 650, which, by the way, a lot of friends of mine that know my business said, boy, that's really not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money relative to what I had. The buildings that were in question, they said in the same report, which was actually it wasn't even a bad story, to be honest with you, but the buildings are worth $3.9 billion. And the 650 isn't even on that. But it's not 650. It's much less than that. But I could give you a list of banks. I would, if that would help you, I would give you a list of banks. These are very fine institutions, very fine banks. I could do that very quickly. I am very underleveraged. I have a great company. I have a tremendous income. And the reason I say that is not in a braggadocious way. It's because it's about time that this country had somebody running it that has an idea about money. Where we have $20 trillion in debt, and our country's a mess. You know, it's one thing to have $20 trillion in debt, and our roads are good, and our bridges are good, and everything's in great shape. Our airports are like from a third world country. You land at
Do they
LaGuardia,
insult you in
you
third
land
world
at
countries
Kennedy,
at
you land at
airports?
LAX, you land at Newark, and you come in from Dubai and Qatar, and you see these incredible, you come in from China, you see these incredible airports, and you land, we've become a third world country. So the worst of all things has happened. We owe $20 trillion, and we're a mess. We haven't even started. And we've spent $6 trillion in the Middle East, according to a report that I just saw, whether it's 6 or 5, but it looks like it's 6. $6 trillion in the Middle East. We could have rebuilt our country twice, and it's really a shame. And it's
That almost sounded like an anti-war statement.
Clinton that have caused this problem. Our country has tremendous problems. We're a debtor nation. We're a serious debtor nation. And we have a country that needs new roads, new tunnels, new bridges, new airports, new schools, new hospitals. And we don't have the money because it's been squandered on so many of your ideas.
And maybe because you haven't paid any federal income tax for a lot years.
That's all she's got.
The other thing I think is important.
It would be squandered too,
is
believe me.
If your main claim to be president of the United States.
Okay, see, you're being amused by him. You didn't think that you would enjoy this.
I mean, if I watched the whole thing, I just, I'd have to stop because I'm not supposed to drink anymore. But
So his claim of the United States has become a third world country is a complete misunderstanding of the term third world. The term,
I think he was just talking about crappy airports, but
right, but no, he said the United States has become a third world country.
Okay.
The term came about during the Cold War, where the first world countries were the countries that were allied with the United States and England and Western Europe.
Second world was Russia?
Second world was Russia and their allies and other communist countries. Third world were countries that were not allied with either entity.
Well, of course, it's interesting etymology on that, but or history, I guess. But now people think of just crap holes, basically, as third world.
Apology from someone who has taken their labor, taken the goods that they produced, and then refused to pay them. I can only say that I'm certainly relieved that my late father never did business with you. He provided a good middle-class life for us, but the people he worked for, he expected the bargain to be kept on both sides. And when we talk about your business, you've taken business bankruptcy 6 times. There are a lot of great business people that have never taken bankruptcy once. You call yourself the king of debt. You talk about leverage. You even at one time suggested that you would try to negotiate down the national debt of the United States. Well, sometimes there's not a direct transfer of skills from business to government. But sometimes what happened in business would be really bad for government.
Well, that's a really damning statement of the institution of government.
It's all words. It's all sound bites. I built an unbelievable company. Some of the greatest assets anywhere in the world, real estate assets anywhere in the world, beyond
How many
the
of
United
those real
States.
estate assets were straight stolen, though?
It's an unbelievable company.
You think Trump stole those assets?
I know he stole some of them.
Eminent domain.
He used the government?
Laws that are there. And when Secretary Clinton talks about people that didn't get paid.
All right, more coming up here. This is Free Talk Live. You can share your thoughts.
This is a life-changing message for anyone with sleep apnea who is on the go and tired of dragging around a big, bulky home CPAP device. MiniCPAP.com now offers a portable device that's as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. For even more freedom, you can add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. It's called the Transcend Mini CPAP, and right now you can try it risk-free for 10 days by calling 1-800-945-9289. Transcend is the world's first portable mini CPAP device. It gives you the freedom to sleep in total comfort anywhere you are. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is so small and so light you can fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. Call minicpap.com now for your 10-day at-home trial. 1-800-945-9289. That's 1-800-945-9289.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Investment Rarities, a 43-year-old company, has created the best silver offer ever. Get a U.S. Silver Eagle, Canadian Maple Leaf, Austrian Philharmonic, OPM Pure Bar, and Silver Round. Have all 5 for $99 post-paid. You heard me right, 5 ounces of silver below cost. No credit card fees, free shipping. Just $99 and you'll have a great start on what it takes to survive even the worst economic storm. Act now and receive Jim Cook's exclusive paper explaining how it's possible to make a fortune in silver today. Don't miss this opportunity. Call 800-328-1860. Read how the above-ground supply of silver has dropped below even gold. The secret is being suppressed. The price could explode at any time. Call today at 800-328-1860. Get 5 ounces of silver for only $99. Find them on the web at investmentrarities.com or call 800-328-1860. Call now before it's too late. 800-328-1860.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
You may already know about the Free Talk Live audio-on-demand phone line at 641-793-9660. Did you know that not only can you listen to Free Talk Live via your phone, you can also leave a message and have it delivered to Free Talk Live's hosts? To leave us your thoughts, just dial 641-793-9660. That's 641-793-9660. Press 2 for Free Talk Live, and then hit 0 to leave your message.
This is your Roberts & Roberts Brokerage Daily Precious Metals Update. In early trading Monday, gold is $1 lower at $1,342 per ounce, and silver is 4 cents lower at $19.69 per ounce. Bitcoin is currently trading at $602 US. Roberts & Roberts Brokerage have been helping clients buying and selling precious metals for nearly 40 years. To find out how we can help you, give us a call today at 800-874-9760 or visit us online at rrbi.co.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can take control of the airwaves even in these remaining moments. We've got enough time for you if you want to join us right now at 855 450 free. It doesn't have to be about the debate or what is being called the debate between Trump and Clinton. And they do seem to be going back and forth on a couple of things here. At the very least, Trump is being accused of interrupting, quote, like crazy, according to one of the columnists at the Washington Post. And he is jumping in with little barbs and responses in the midst of when Clinton is speaking. Let's see. The question right now, not real clear. Clinton was just talking about guns and, doing something about guns. So let's get Trump on this, whatever this is.
Thousands of shootings. And I'm saying, where is this? Is this a war-torn country? What are we doing? And we have to stop the violence. We have to bring back law and order in a place like Chicago where thousands of people have been killed, thousands over the last number of years. In fact, almost 4,000 have been killed since Barack Obama became president. Almost 4,000 people in Chicago have been killed. We have to bring back law and order. Now, whether or not in a place like Chicago you do stop and frisk, which worked very well. Mayor Giuliani is here. It worked very well in New York.
We talked about this in detail on the Saturday edition, I believe it was, of Free Talk Live. where, no, it didn't work. Stop and frisk, actually, when you look at the numbers, the violent crimes in New York City were already trending downward before stop and frisk was implemented. And then when it went away, they were still trending downward. So there was not even a real correlation that you could even draw between stop and frisk and the drop in violent crime. So he's completely wrong about that. And the current New York mayor has even come out and said that Trump is wrong about that. Stop and frisk was also found to be unconstitutional in New York, the way it was being implemented. So not to say that it was unconstitutional as a whole, but the way it was being implemented was.
Well, you can't do it randomly. You can do it on suspicion. You don't even need PC, but you can do it on suspicion. You can't do it randomly anymore.
You can just pat somebody down on suspicion?
No, that's what they were doing, and the Supreme Court told them they had to stop.
Okay, gotcha. Wait, so the Supreme Court would allow it randomly, do you think?
Wait, no. So
no. You need probable cause.
You don't need.
That's what I would think.
You need reasonable, articulable suspicion for a stop and frisk, which is somewhat lower than probable cause. Mm-hmm. But they were just doing it at random, and you can't do that.
Well,
so, I saw you head out of that store, mm-hmm. and they get robbed on a regular basis. So let me check your pockets. Would be suspicion.
But not reasonable, articulable.
Well, I don't even think that would rise to that level, but yeah, something really.
They were
shaky.
doing more than just random. They were targeting the people they wanted to target,
right?
Obviously,
I'm sure,
claiming that it was random.
They're claiming it was random.
Right. So let's go on here with more of this. Trump's calling for a police state.
You need better relationships. I agree with Secretary Clinton on this. You need better relationships between the communities and the police, because in some cases it's not good. But you look at Dallas, where the relationships were really studied. The relationships were really a beautiful thing. And then 5 police officers were killed one night very violently. So there's some bad things going on, some really bad things.
Secretary Clinton,
but we need, Lester, we need law and order. And we need law and order in the inner cities, because the people that are most affected by what's happening are African American and Hispanic people. And it's very unfair to them what our politicians are allowing to happen.
Secretary Clinton.
Well,
law and order usually means Bearcats, military vehicles.
Can we call them by
vests.
their proper name? Ballistic Engineered Armored Response Counterattack Trucks.
We could, but I hardly ever remember what the Bearcat
because
stands
Bearcat
for.
just sounds. Oh, it's so cute and fuzzy. It's like a little bear and a cat just had a little puppy.
Armored tank. How about that?
Even the hybrid animal sounds horrible to me. But since I know it's a tank-like thing.
Armored tank. How about that? Nice short way of describing what the Bearcat is. That's what law and order means to these people. It means more guns in the hands of the police, fewer responsibilities for the police's behavior, no accountability whatsoever for what it is that they do, and that's what that means. Checkpoints, papers, please.
Where are your papers?
That's what he's talking about there. Not to mention his damn wall idea. So, by the way, just to make sure it's clear, I'm not a Trump fan. I just think he's more entertaining to watch than Hillary Clinton.
Back up. We've had 25 years of very good cooperation, but there were some problems, some unintended consequences. Too many young African American and Latino men ended up in jail for nonviolent offenses. And it's just a fact that if you're a young African American man and you do the same thing as a young white man, you are more likely to be arrested, charged, convicted, and incarcerated.
And do you think having more laws will help or hurt that problem?
Right. That's her government that she's talking about that does those things. What has she done so far to assist black males in the United States with not being targeted by the police?
Because she's wanting to pass more laws, and if you have more laws, then there's more things to arrest people for.
Right. Has Clinton advocated for an end to the war on drugs?
Nope.
Absolutely not. Of course, neither has Trump. But to act like she's all of a sudden she cares about the plight of poor people in the United States is ridiculous.
Oh, she acts like she cares because she wants their vote.
Right.
Prison cells with young Americans. So there are some positive ways we can work on this. And I believe strongly that common sense gun safety measures would assist us right now.
You mean confiscation?
This is something Donald has supported along with the gun lobby. Right now, we've got too many military-style weapons on the streets. In a lot of places, our police
do, and they're owned by the police.
Comprehensive background checks, and we need to keep guns out of the hands of those who will do harm.
Like
and
the
we
police.
finally
Right.
need to pass a prohibition on anyone who's on the terrorist watch list from being able to buy a gun in our country. If you're too dangerous to fly,
So throw due process out the window.
Right, because to get on that watch list, there's they just put you on there. I mean, there's no
And
actual.
they don't even tell you about it. So you show up at the store.
Right.
Hi, I'd like to buy this gun. Here's some money. And then they announce in the middle of the sporting goods store that you're a terrorist.
Well, I don't know if that's
Nope, they
how it
just say
happens.
we can't sell it to you, and we don't know why.
Right. And also, I mean, there's also the terrorist watch list as far as not flying on airplanes. You can't fly, and basically you can't even get your name off of that list. It's almost impossible to do that. So, I mean, we're talking about huge, unaccountable government here, just completely ruining people's lives and freedoms.
to policing, since it can have literally fatal consequences, I have said in my first budget we would
Maybe policing is
put
too
money
dangerous.
into
If
that
it causes all these deaths, then we should ban it.
us deal with implicit bias by retraining a lot of our police officers. I've met
that's what
with a
they
group
need.
of very distinguished
Another training mission for them to spend more taxpayer dollars on. That'll
Here's
fix
an
the
idea.
problems.
How about we get rid of all of the victimless crimes that allow the police to just, go up and say, I think you might have a plant. Prove that you don't.
Yeah, if you ended the war on drugs, then there would be a huge end to a lot of the things she's talking about. She is identifying that, yes, the police do target minorities more often than they target, white people. I think there's some truth to that. And young people, specifically young males, are being targeted more often. Young poor males, regardless of the color of their skin, are being targeted more often. And, for drugs and things like that. If you legalize drugs, it solves that problem.
Protecting the Second Amendment. But I think we have to look very strongly at no-fly lists and watch lists. And when people are on there...
See, they agree on this one. More lists. More people on more lists.
I tend to agree with that quite strongly. I do want to bring up the fact that you were the one that brought up the word super predator about young black youth. And that's a term that I think was it's been horribly met, as you know. I think you've apologized for it. But I think it was a terrible thing to say. And when it comes to stop and frisk, you're talking about taking guns away. Well, I'm talking about taking guns away from gangs and people that use them. And I really don't think you disagree with me on this, if you want to know the truth. I think maybe there's a political reason why you can't say it, but I really don't believe. In New York City, stop and frisk, we had 2,200 murders, and stop and frisk brought it down to 500 murders. 500 murders is a lot of murders. Hard to believe. 500 is supposed to be good. But we went from 2,200 to 500, and it was continued on by Mayor Bloomberg, and it was terminated by current mayor.
Yeah,
But
go and look at the statistics. I mean, look, maybe there were more murders around the beginning of Stop and Frisk compared towards the end of Stop and Frisk. But again, the trend was already going down by the time it was introduced.
Right. So what was the number or the rate X number of years before Stop and Frisk began?
Washington Post had a detailed article about it. You can check that out. We're out of time for tonight. There's at least another half hour of this malarkey.
I'm not watching it.
Yep, and you can check it out at your leisure. Otherwise, go to, continue listening to whatever you were going to listen to. We'll see you tomorrow night online in the meantime at freetalklive.com.
Excuse me, is this where I get a license to start a new business?
I wouldn't be hasty. You have to get a license to go out of business, too,
Oh, well, look, I've invented this little anti-gravity machine, see?
Oh, is that why you're walking 2 inches above the floor?
Oh, yes, it's very comfortable. It saves on shoe leather.
Yeah, well, you have to fill out these forms and report to the Human Services Department of Manpower Orientation and register with the Fair Employment Practice Commission, the Wage and Hour Division of the Employment Standards Administration, the State Sales and Income Tax Division, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Social Security Administration of the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, and, of course, OSHA.
OSHA? I thought that was a little town in Wisconsin.
You'll find out. Say, floating around like that could be dangerous. Have you checked with the Consumer Product Safety Commission?
Well, not yet.
Come to think of it, you actually are flying, aren't you? Look, you need to go over to the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation...
It's very hard to get anything done these days if you're in business, but free enterprise built this country. Think what could happen if we don't keep it free. A public service of this station and the Center for the Defense of Free Enterprise, Bellevue, Washington.
We just can't have people floating about unregulated, you know.
Should you be able to earn an honest living free from senseless government interference? The Institute for Justice thinks so. That's why we've spent years defending hard-working men and women from pointless government regulations. Nationwide, IJ has created opportunity by reducing government power, but there is still more work to be done. Visit our website today at ij.org. Let IJ take care of the government so you can take care of your business.
Free Talk Live has partnered with Amazon, the largest internet retailer. Imagine a department store category, and Amazon has it. Books, electronics, office products, furniture, jewelry, automotive, toys, clothing, sporting goods, and dozens of other categories. Now you can shop and support Free Talk Live by entering Amazon through our website. Go to shop.freetalklive.com, and Amazon will send us a portion of your purchase. You're going to do the shopping anyway, so remember to enter through our site at shop.freetalklive.com. That's shop.freetalklive.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Many thought that a politician with a publicly inebriated lifestyle would be unelectable. But Dave Tillis has proved them wrong, winning over voters by loudly rambling on about issues they care about.
Everybody's got to know that drugs are Americans, and we love America! And we want to make it awesome! Oh my God, let's do this! Let's be a senator! I love you guys!
Tillis' total fearlessness and lack of inhibition seemed to speak to voters. This week, those supporters had something to celebrate as Senator Tillis proposed his first piece of legislation, the All Bus Stops Should Have Shelters bill.
But does that mean you deserve to wake up in the snow? Hell no. Let's make a shelter on all bus stops. Ow! This idea is genius.
This is the Onion News Network.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
This is your Roberts & Roberts Brokerage Daily Precious Metals Update. In early trading Monday, gold is $1 lower at $1,342 per ounce, and silver is 4 cents lower at $19.69 per ounce. Bitcoin is currently trading at $602 US. Roberts & Roberts Brokerage have been helping clients buying and selling precious metals for nearly 40 years. To find out how we can help you, give us a call today at 800-874-9760 or visit us online at rrbi.co.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm. The latest edition of The Lava Flow is next on the Liberty Radio Network at lrn.fm. Get more at thelavaflow.com.
Pax Libertas Productions will be your premier source for Liberty podcasts. What exactly is this new company? Thank you for joining me on the 14th episode of The Lava Spurt, the Pax Libertas Productions edition.
Welcome to The Lava Spurt, the weekly offshoot of The Lava Flow, channeling the flow of information to the libertarian, anarcho-capitalist, voluntarist, and agorist community. Brought to you by my per-episode donors. Thank you. Here's your host, Roger Paxton.
If you listen to every second of my podcasts, then you've likely heard the last few words in the close saying, "This has been a Pax Libertas Productions podcast." I've had this on the show since episode 2, so for basically 22 months, but that company is now a reality. What exactly is Pax Libertas Productions? As I said, it's going to be your premier source for Liberty podcasts. Our goal is to bring you the very best possible content by connecting excellent content producers with high-quality production that will make our podcasts easy to listen to and worth your time. If you're looking for podcasts that pack the most content possible in each episode without all of the distractions and poor content, then this is going to be the place for you. I'm sure many of you have heard this story, but it bears repeating. I created the Lava Flow podcast to be the podcast that I would want to hear in the Liberty space, since there wasn't one that met my expectations. There are lots of good quality Liberty podcasts out there, but there's also lots of terrible ones as well. But even the ones that I would call good didn't fill my expectations or what I wanted to hear. Most of those are interview shows, and frankly, there are way more than enough interview shows in the Liberty space and in podcasting in general. This is a tapped out market. What I wanted was a show that would give me a ton of information in a short format without a lot of unnecessary fluff, banter, and inside jokes. Is there a place for podcasts with fluff? Sure. I mean, some people enjoy that sort of thing. I don't, so I created my podcast, and it's grown beyond my wildest dreams. Last month, in August, I hit just under 12,000 downloads. This month, I'm on schedule right now to hit over 15,000 downloads, with one less episode this month than I had last month. Contrast that with the very first month in the existence of the Lava Flow, where I only had 254 downloads just 22 months ago. I would say that that is some decent growth. And I'm also getting paid to do the show thanks to my awesome supporters. And that's only using one stream of income. As a matter of fact, the podcast that you're listening to right now, The Lava Spurt, is brought to you precisely from my awesome supporters. It wouldn't have been possible without their donations. With the new shows that are going to be coming online through Pax Libertas Productions, we'll be using 3 streams of income to support not only the content creator, but also the production team as well. On top of direct supporters, we will also be adding in ads across our podcast network and digging deeper into affiliate marketing as well. The best way to find and keep quality content producers is to make sure that they bring in some money doing what they do. So that will be a big focus for us. Pax Libertas Productions had a pretty exciting opening weekend this weekend. I entered the Porcupine's Den Entrepreneurship Day competition at the 3rd Annual Free Coast Festival on Sunday. It was a Shark Tank-style competition where several of us pitched our ideas to a panel of judges who were all experienced and successful entrepreneurs. 5 of us pitched our various ideas, such as a microbrewery specializing in wheat beers, a subscription-based pure water and vegetable delivery service, a financial planning firm using risk management strategies, and a crowd-funded pro-liberty lobbyist venture. I had some seriously worthy competitors, but there could be only one winner. Pax Libertas Productions won the day and the 50 million Satoshi prize, which is half a Bitcoin. But man, it sounds so much better as 50 million Satoshis. That money's already being put to use to get the back end up to support new podcasts and websites for the new shows. So what can you expect from Pax Libertas Productions over the next few weeks and few months? My goal is to release 2 brand new podcasts by the end of this year under the PLP banner and to add at least 1 new podcast each quarter next year. We're looking to fill as many niches in the libertarian, anarcho-capitalist, voluntarist, and agorist podcast spaces as possible. So if you have an idea for a show, or if you would like to join our team as a content producer for Pax Libertas Productions, please contact me at roger@thelavaflow.com and let me know. Also, if you're interested in investing to help get this off the ground even quicker, let me know that as well. I'm looking forward to hearing from all of you guys soon. What can you do to help right now? Well, first, you can check us out and like and follow us on Twitter at Pax Libertas Pro and on Facebook at Pax Libertas Productions. I'm still building the website for PLP, but it's going to be at paxlibertas.com in the next couple of days. Keep an eye out in the coming weeks for our first new podcast. Also, just as a reminder,